Hey, SBG solution-based gang, like, share, subscribe. Say no to rim, brothers, mothers, fear and sell no good suckers. Hype him up, hype him up. Shouts out, Sharoon, Bracy in the waters. Wake up morning, show salute, big dog, shout out to the lure. PH, Diva, salute, Brownsville, SBG solution-based gang.
Okay. Can you hear me? Am I coming through clear? Good day, everyone. Yeah. Hey, what's up, beautiful? How you doing? I miss you more. Can you pass me the chapstick when you get the chance, please? I miss you more, beautiful. Long time no see. What up, Too Strong? Too Strong for life. Good day to you. How you feeling? Can y'all hear me? Am I coming through clear? Because I couldn't hear myself. So I'm not sure if I'm coming through. Or maybe it is hooked up through a different speaker. Okay. Hopefully I'm coming through clear. Y'all let me know if you can't hear me. Man, we're going to have a good one today. Shout out to everybody. Thank you. How was y'all weekend? How's everything going? I ain't getting no response to tell me if I'm sounding good. Am I coming through clear? Can you hear me? Well, you know how we like to start the show. I like to start it. Let's go. Good day, everyone. How are we doing? What up? There we go. I can hear it. There we go. Good. Thank you. I appreciate you. Let me see if I can hear this. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. How about this?
About to be a situation. Hey.
All right, there we go. Now everything is back to shout out. Man, this means so much to me. Shout out to Brother Noopsy with the 5-ball early in the AM. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Make sure y'all be just like Brother Noopsy. Show some love. Let's go. Loud and clear. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that, man. It means a lot, man. It means a lot. It's not easy to get productive, positive energy. So I really appreciate everybody, man. Hitting that shit. Let's keep it grounded. Let's go. I feel you, Brother Noopsy. There's been a lot going on in these YouTube streets, and I thought this whole thing was very interesting. For some reason, we are the only ones that can get attacked, that we ain't supposed to react to nothing. We ain't supposed to have no reaction whatsoever. We supposed to just accept any and everything. What's up, Haitian Sensational? Good day to you, sir. How you feeling today? I always find that very interesting. You know, and so when I just think about this whole Chud the Builder situation, I didn't really look into it for in depth because I really don't care about the person Chud or any of these people, but I do care about what they are attempting to do. But what I do like about the situation is that people were trying to educate these brothers and say, hey, what you're doing is absolutely wrong. So today we're going to talk about this internet business model that people have, right? And the business model is this. Good day to you, Rosie. The business model is simple. Antagonize Black people and get a reaction. Go viral. And pretend to be the victim and repeat. That is the most craziest thing apart about it. They antagonize, then play the victim, and then repeat. And that's the whole economy. Now, some of these streets figured out outrage pays better than talent. And that's why every week there's some dude online acting shocked that screaming out racial slurs at people creates tension. Like, why? And they be acting like, why are they mad? I don't understand it. Brother, because you call them the N-word. That's not a magic trick. That's cause and effect. What's up, Corinne Mackey? Good day to you. Good day to you. You know what I'm saying? That is cause and effect. And surprise, you got hit? Come on. And what kills me is the internet framing, right? They always frame it like the real problem is the reaction, not the disrespect. That's ass backwards. Even though I understand a lot of shit on the internet is ass backwards. I get it. Yeah. Thank you so much, beautiful. Hold on. Gotta read this super chat. Says, in the cloud, the stream looks awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I missed a couple goddamn cash apps the other day because I didn't even know that my damn phone died. I was so engaged into the goddamn conversation, screaming and yelling that I didn't even realize that my damn phone had died. And I got a couple of cash apps. Let me read some of them. It says, bye, dumb N-word. Oh, also it says, baddie culture came from pimp culture. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's a really good one. Also, we got the beautiful, thank you. She said, I got paid today. It's Friday. Thanks as always. Thank you so much. And also it says, Afro Nerd needs a break. Shout out, and hopefully the people that sent that is not too upset at me. My apologies. And we could use it. If you did drop somebody and they ain't get dropped, we could use it for another time. Don't worry about it. I got you. Now, what was I? Oh, that they expect us. They do not the reaction time, right? The real problem is the reaction. That's the issue, right? They always frame it like these people on the internet always framing like the real problem is the reaction, not the disrespect. That's backwards. That's ass backwards. That's like poking a bear with a stick for 3 hours and saying, wow, bears are aggressive. No, you harassing wildlife, sir. You harassing wildlife. Good day to you. Oh, Natasha, I got your message. I got you, by the way. What up, young? You harassing wildlife. And then you got these podcasters, philosophers online saying Black people should just ignore it. You should just ignore it. Ignore it? Black Beauty Game, I'm glad you're here. I got you. Now that I know you're here, I got you, beautiful. I got to play that song for my baby girl. What up, Shiesty? Good day to you. I got to play the song for my baby girl. Happy belated birthday once again. But we will play it for you twice, God damn it. Because we love you that much over here. Right? They want us to just ignore it. And, at the end of the day, that sounds good. It sounds good on paper. Everything sounds peaceful when you're not the target. That's the real issue, right? Everything sounds peaceful when you are not the target. Easy to preach emotional discipline when nobody is attacking your identity for content. That's like, that's like a millionaire telling homeless people, have you tried positive thinking? Brother, if you don't shut your ass up, I'm trying to eat, it's cold out here. Let's really talk about this. Let me see what he's talking about. They're ignoring the fact that black people kill more white people every single year than the amount of black people lynched in the history of America. You're gonna have to hit the link. I don't know what that has to do with the conversation, but people like you, I would like to attempt to engage in the conversation if that's possible. And let's have an honest dialogue. Because we're talking about a very specific thing. We're talking about people antagonizing black folks. Why is it an issue for us to call out the people that are doing disrespectful things for content? We cannot ignore people attempting to antagonize us for content. That's the real conversation. And let's really talk about this, because people love pretending this standard exists equally across society. It doesn't. There are many groups in the world where people understand there are lines you do not cross publicly. Unless you're ready for the consequences. Everybody understands this. Everybody. And you cannot walk into an Italian neighborhood calling somebody's grandmother trash, right? You might not leave with the same dental structure. Is that cultural reality? Let me drink some water. You can't disrespect somebody's religion in certain communities and then act confused when people are furious. You can't go into biker bars calling people weak. You can't walk into gang territory yelling disrespect. You can't even insult K-pop fans online safely. You cannot talk about their beehive safely. You can't talk about Beyonce without the beehive attacking. Dumb people coordinate attacks like the goddamn CIA. You tweet one reckless thing about BTS and suddenly your credit score dropping. Everybody understands social consequences except when black people react. And then suddenly everybody becomes a philosopher. Violence is never the answer. Neither is racial harassment. But here we are. Here we are. And I'm not even advocating for violence. I'm talking about accountability, because internet culture got people addicted to provoking reactions without responsibility. That's a problem. And that's cowardice disguised as free speech. And a lot of these dudes aren't brave. All they did was monetize disrespect. I don't know who you talking about, Crewfest. I'm not sure who you talking about. If you talking about me, because I'm not talking about through my feelings. I'm having an honest conversation. You said who is monetized? The person that we are talking about monetized himself off of disrespect. Myron Gaines monetized himself off of disrespect. Sneeko monetized off of disrespect. This man, Chud the Builder, monetized off of disrespect. 90% of the black MAGAs, they monetize off of disrespect. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Let me see. That's insane to me. I don't know why, and I'm not sure. Crewfest, are you a black man or woman? Are you a black person? I'm just curious because I'm confused sometimes. I get highly confused. Make sure we hitting that like and that share button. This is going to be a great show. We know how we're going to do it. This is how we do it. All right, 22 likes is disrespectful. How about that? 22 likes is disrespectful. Let me make sure I pin this to the top. So anybody that want to have a conversation about the topic and not go off on their own tangent, don't worry, we'll drop the link. The link is there. We'll see. We'll see if we want to have a conversation or not. All right. So all these men that we just named, they monetize disrespect. Big difference, right? It's a big difference. And another thing, people always say they just trolling. Okay, and trolling is not immunity. I'm sorry, it's not. I walk into your house every day, insulting your mother as a joke. Eventually, jokes run out. Human beings have emotional thresholds. We all do, right? And it's weird how black people are expected to have infinite emotional patience while simultaneously being antagonized publicly for entertainment. That's crazy. That's a crazy expectation, especially considering the history attached to these words. The part that part of internet culture conveniently ignores, right? And the N word isn't just a bad word. That word got historical blood on it. Violence, dehumanization, generations attached to it. That's why context matters. People online love pretending words exist in a vacuum. They don't. History follows language. That's why some insults hit different, and then they say, God damn it, I need a drink. I'm hella thirsty. I apologize. I shouldn't be this goddamn thirsty. And then they say, well, right, so the insults, our insults hit different. And then, gather my thoughts. And then they'll say, well, black people say it. That's another lazy argument because groups throughout history reclaim language all the time. All of the time. Families joke differently with each other than strangers do. Friends roast each other differently than outsiders do. That's human social behavior. You know how many things your grandmother can call you that a stranger absolutely cannot? This is why I was having a conversation with Tommy Sotomayor about the B word. He's saying the women call themselves B's all the time, but I don't give a right for you to call them that. And that's life. And another thing, the internet got people confusing legality with morality. Just because you can say something doesn't mean people got a socially accepted freedom of speech. Does not mean freedom of consequences. It doesn't. It just means the government not arresting you. That's what freedom of speech means. So y'all got to get that part. Stop being confused about that part. The public can still think you an asshole, and that's democracy too. And honestly, some of these creators survive entirely off of rage farming. They discover anger is profitability. You know what I'm saying? It's profitable. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. They figured that out, especially racial anger, because outrage creates engagement. Engagement creates money. That's why social media rewards conflict, and a calm, nuanced conversation get 8 views. Make sure you're hitting that like and the share button. A dude screaming racial slurs in public gets 8 million. That's the sickness of culture. And algorithms don't care about morality. Algorithms care about attention. And that's why the loudest people online often the least emotional healthy. And then you got certain influencers defending this behavior under the banner of logic and stoicism. Internet dudes love pretending emotional suppression equals intelligence. It doesn't. Sometimes emotional reactions is normal. Somebody intentionally disrespects you repeatedly and you react emotionally. Congratulations, you're a human being. The issue is how you handle emotion, not whether emotions exist, but these podcast dudes talk like they're spiritually evolved, and you are not. Meanwhile, they screaming at women for 4 hours over Instagram models. Brother, you not stoic at all. You emotionally sponsored by caffeine and insecurity, bro, and maybe some alcohol and some goddamn cannabis. Calm down. And let's talk about selective toughness. That's my favorite internet phenomenon. Some people only become fearless around groups they think they can provoke safely, right? This is why we having the issue that we have. Funny how that works. You notice that they say anything. People always got very strategic bravery. That's what they have. That's what they have. Strategic bravery. It's very calculated courage. That's what they got, Nidus. Very calculated courage. They know exactly which crowds to antagonize. That ain't free speech bravery. That's marketing. And honestly, Black people are expected to absorb disrespect in ways most groups are not. And that's just a reality. People romanticize Black resilience so much that they forget Black people are still people. People got limits, emotions, pride, human dignity. And another thing, there's a difference between comedy and dehumanization. Real comedy punch in multiple directions. Real comedians understand tension, irony, human contradiction, but lazy racial antagonism, that's not genius. Just like what just recently happened with the Kevin Hart situation as well. That is not genius. That's middle school behavior with sponsorships. Anybody can scream racial slurs. That doesn't make you insightful. If anything, it usually means you ran out of material. And I think what frustrates a lot of Black folks like myself online is not just the racism itself, right? It's the gaslighting afterwards. That's the exhausting part. The gaslighting is the exhausting part. First, somebody disrespects you. Then people analyze your reaction more than the original disrespect. Happens to me a lot. That is like psychological manipulation. Imagine somebody slap you publicly and then the room gathers around discussing whether you overreacted. That's insane. And social media normalized this weird emotional detachment where people think empathy is weakness. No. Empathy is civilization. Understand why somebody's hurt, why some things what's the word I'm looking for? Why something hurts somebody matters, right? So why something hurts somebody, right? The reason why something is hurt. This is why I have a lot of issues with the brothers that come up here when I'm talking about certain things and saying, hey, these things is hurting our ladies. They get upset like, hey, listen, something that is hurting our people, that matters. That's how society functions. Otherwise, everything just becomes chaos. And another thing, there's this weird internet obsession with trying to like humble Black people specifically. People get uncomfortable when Black people defend themselves too strongly, especially publicly, because historically society preferred Black pain quiet, controlled, entertaining, non-threatening. And that expectation still lingers online. People want Black culture, Black music, Black slang, Black fashion, Black athleticism, Black creativity, but sometimes uncomfortable with Black boundaries. And that contradiction is real. And look, I'm not saying people should crash out over trolls. Some internet provocateurs want emotional chaos. And that's true. But we also got to stop pretending the person provoking carries no responsibility. Accountability got to exist on both sides. Otherwise, society becomes absurd. Imagine teaching children, if somebody bullies you every day, the bully is not the issue. Your reaction is. That's terrible social logic. That creates narcissists. And honestly, the internet made too many people comfortable treating real communities like content categories. That's dangerous because eventually people forget they dealing with actual human beings, not avatars, not engagement metrics, not clips, people. And that's the deeper issue here. Not just race, human dignity. Because once society starts rewarding humiliation as entertainment, eventually everybody becomes vulnerable. Today is Black people, tomorrow somebody else. Internet culture don't stop. Outrage always looking for a new target. And that machine eats everybody eventually. And honestly, I think most regular people understand basic respect. The internet just amplifies extremes. Most people offline know you don't walk around intentionally dehumanizing people for laughs. That's not controversial. That's just basic decency. But online, everybody want to be edgy. Everybody want to go viral. And everybody want to test limits until consequences appear. And then suddenly they confused. And the wildest part, the same people who saying just ignore disrespect be the first people. You know what I'm saying? That's the crazy part. They be the first people offended when somebody insults them personally. It's crazy to me. Like this internet stoicism disappears like, real fast when ego enters the room. So I don't know, it happens all the time here, right? So at the end of the day, this conversation ain't really about being sensitive. It's about double standards, about accountability, about certain communities are expected to endlessly tolerate antagonism, while other groups, they afforded immediate respect. And that's the real debates. And if people are uncomfortable talking about that, honestly, good. Some conversations are supposed to be uncomfortable. And that's how, that's how we get the truth in the room. To be honest with you, that's how we get the truth in the room. So if you're not afraid to have an honest conversation, please hit the link that is pinned in the chat. It's very simple. You can hit that like button, you get the share button, and discuss the things that I have said today. Because for some reason, people like to come up here and have conversations about things that I never had a conversation about. So I'd like for you to come up and talk to the things that I'm talking about today. Welcome to the show. My man looking really sharp today. Shout out to him. Yeah. Welcome to the show, Shadow the Titan. Good day, sir. How you doing today?
Good. I'm on my way to a meeting.
Nice.
Yeah. Excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for you because I already know. So, yay. Yeah. Much love for you. Give you some great positive and productive energy going towards your way. All right? Because I know you don't need no luck. So
I know. Luck for people who ain't got the skill to do it.
All right, then. So what's your thoughts on the topic that I have today?
It's interesting, but there's not a lot. I agree with everything you said thus far. The simple fact is confrontation creates sensationalism, and it is why people monetize conflict, and they do it consistently. So
why do I got this one person in my chat? Yeah, I can hear you good. I can hear you clear. They calling you Bruce Leroy. I can hear you good. I wonder why.
There you go. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. I wonder why certain people in the chat want to try to argue like I'm saying something foul and dishonest. And instead of just hitting the link and explain themselves why they can't have a conversation on the topic at hand.
I mean, if they disagree with you, they should come up and actually disagree with you. I mean, I do it every day.
Yeah. Right, on the words that I'm actually you usually come up here and agree with me, and then you find a way to
look. You're not going to gaslight me today, sir.
While you fix your hair, let me read a couple of these.
About to be a situation. Hey, hey, hey.
Shout out to PZ Ain't Gone with the $10 super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. PZ Ain't Going. Shout out to Natasha Vincent with the $9.99. If you think he's talking about you, he is. If you think this super chat is about you, it is too. Hit the link to cry about it some more.
She ain't wrong.
Shout out to the detachment with the $5.99 favor. Blessings and prosperity for whatever Ty has going on today. May it advance his household. In Jesus' name, we say amen.
Thank you, Natasha.
Shout out to Natasha. That was really good. What's up, Brownie? So why do people think that it is okay for us just to accept to be antagonized? Like, because they would try to bring up so many other things, but they're not understand that this man built content off of just harassing Black folks, calling them the N-word, and then saying that they are chimping out, which is a reference towards being a monkey. For a white man to say that all those things is antagonizing, and then he finally got what he's looking for out of whatever how many years he's been doing this. He finally got what he's looking for. They acting like we are the ones that are overreacting as Black folks. That's crazy talk.
I mean, they also would have said we were overreacting if he got body slammed. So, I mean, at a certain point, it's something you said earlier sat with me very well. It's just because you have a freedom of speech doesn't mean you have freedom from those consequences that your speech has. If you decide to play, what is it, FAFO? Hey, you play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Yeah. And it's funny.
Why do you feel like Black folks can't dish out the stupid prize?
Oh, because when we dish out the stupid prize, then we're setting the stereotype. I'm not opposed to that. Hey.
But here's the issue is, right, they saying that, right, so, and that's the issue that I have right there, what you just said, right? They saying that we would be posing that stereotype. No, how about that Black person is responding to something correctly?
I'm in full support of body slamming that man. Like, oh, what? Hold up. Oh, I'm going live. Good. Record this. Look, and had he gotten his ass whooped a couple of times, I promise you, he wouldn't have kept playing the same game. Yeah, no. Because who was it? There was a guy who was called a bully. He was a buffer Black dude who would go around flirting with people's girls in front of him. But because he was big, most people stepped back. One day, somebody actually fought him. He was like, yeah, I got to take a little bit of time to heal this. Maybe I went a little too far. You learn to stop playing games once somebody puts them beaters on you.
Which is sad that so many people feel like it is okay to antagonize Black folks and that we supposed to be the ones getting over the N-word, getting over being called monkeys, be the ones that's we should get over blackface. You know, like for Jake Paul to say he's gonna wear blackface because he thought what Drewski did in whiteface so funny. Like, bro, no, you can't do blackface and act as if it's the same kind of comedy. It's not the same. One has a history that people got physically hurt off of, and what you're doing doesn't have not a lick of history of people being hurt at all. There's no way to compare those two things.
I think that's the interesting part about it. I think that's the interesting part about that concept. Because speaking of the Jake Paul and Drewski thing, what Drewski did, he didn't do it out of racial malice. He did it because he was making fun of the person. And he was literally dressed as he could. He wanted to make sure he did exactly what he was supposed to do, and he fit the bill. Drewski did well. Jake Paul's doing it in response because he was black and did it. I think the motives behind it are different. So one was motivated by comedy and the other one was motivated by race. I think that's why it's a bigger issue. And the fact that, but Jake and his brother Logan have been on BS since they've been on YouTube. So that's nothing new.
Good day to you, Mrs. Smell the Roses. How you doing? Good day to you, beautiful. And and I think the fact that people try to act blind to it and act like, hey, he did it for comedy, I'm doing it for comedy. I just want all of us to do this for comedy and tease one another and make jokes. Bruh, if you want to have jokes, you can have jokes with your friend, and you can talk about how when he got drunk, he fell over the banister. Fine, you can have that joke with that black friend that you have. But trying to have it as a in general joke, you a white person playing whiteface and act as if you don't understand the history behind it. That's a real problem that we got to. Y'all just got to deal with it. I'm sorry, y'all can't do the same jokes as us. Because we didn't historically do this. We didn't historically damage y'all the way how y'all did. Because any other race or religion, they feel a way about things that happened thousands of years ago.
Right. But again, my issue between Jake Paul and Logan.
And shout out today if you say something wrong to those people, that things that happened to them thousands of years ago, generations after generations, they still will feel a certain way today. And what's happening to us is what? 2 grandmothers old?
Yeah. Yeah. Not a full $1.50.
And they act like, oh, you should just get over it. Nah, bro. We attempted to move forward, right? We attempted, and what happened? They blew up Tulsa. They blew up Rosewood.
Absolutely.
And we can even go into even more recent time. They blew up Philadelphia. We just went past recently.
My meeting's about to start. I'll be back after it's done.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate you. When you come back, hopefully we have some good information. And like even recent times in Philadelphia, we just had an anniversary of America bombing Philadelphia. Why did they bomb Philadelphia? And I was so upset that people like Sneeko was attempting to have some kind of reasoning why that is okay for Chud the Builder to just be out here disrespecting black folks and act as if it's not a concern, and the person that is reacting to it needs to be spoke about more than the person that's antagonizing. That's just wild behavior. And I couldn't believe that I was actually siding with DJ Academics, because DJ Academics was absolutely cooking Sneeko up. He had horrible points. He trying to act like the person that slapped him, you're supposed to turn the other cheek. I'm sorry, brother. No. You slap me, you're going to get slapped back. Sorry. It's just what it is. And then what usually happens is that these same people like Sneeko and Myron, and we could go down a long list of these black MAGA conservatives that do it as well. They try to act as if we supposed to get over every single thing. But let you say something about Donald Trump, they ain't gonna get over that. They're gonna call you all types of feminists, liberals, and you stupid, you a feminine person, you're a feminine. They won't stop. All you got to do is tell them the truth about what's going on, and they have a problem with it. So for people like Sneeko and Myron, they got into this business by being able to say that they are close to our culture. Black people as a culture is a problem. They were so close in proximity to Black culture that they feel like they can now criticize Black culture. I'm sorry, you could witness it, you can enjoy it, but you can't criticize it. You ain't a part of it. So then we got the urban landlords saying craziness. I don't know what you're talking about. This idea that it's like that you cannot physically attack me with your words. That's why it's called assault and battery. You can absolutely attack somebody with your words. We acting as if words do not have consequences is the most idiotic thing I ever heard in my life. You cannot criticize a culture unless you are a part. If you are only going to talk about it in the if you want to take advantage of that culture and then just talk about the negative about that culture, that's you being a culture vulture. That's when it becomes a problem. And a lot of these people that monetize off of our culture and act like they all hip, they know about the new music, they know about the new clothes, they listen to all the rap lyrics and all these other things. And then now when it's time, they want to say, oh, nah, just get over it. That's a problem. That's a culture vulture. There's a big difference between a culture vulture, like possibly Sneeko, Myron, and the Black conservatives. Those are culture vultures. They use their Blackness as a way to attack Blackness. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's assault. And usually what comes after is the Black person giving battery. That's why it's called assault and battery. Battery is the goddamn physical part. That's what the battery is. You know, but most people don't look at what these words actually mean. People actually believe that words is not assaulting, insulting, and assault. That's the craziest part about it. I don't know why we act as if we don't understand these things. It can be. It depends who's calling the Black woman. It depends on who's calling that woman that word and what's the context of it. So see, the issue is that people act as if we don't understand context. We don't understand it's so many different areas of you could use a word where the person would not feel threatened. And there's ways that somebody can use the word and they are being threatening, right? So a man walking up to you, calling you the N-word and then saying that you're chipping out, those are very threatening words. And then also that same person, Chud the Builder, he says the N-word, say that they chipping out, and then shows them that he also brandished his weapon and say, hey, I got that thing on me as well. That is another sign of a threat. So he's doing three things that is threatening, and instead of calling out the horrible negative energy of that white man and other white men like him, you want to focus on the reaction to whatever Black person slap him up and put him on the hard concrete. It's crazy. Absolutely. Showing that you have a gun and then verbally assaulting somebody is crazy work. Talk about that. That's what we need to have a conversation about. Stop giving these people excuses to just disrespect us as a people. And also, we're going to call out the Black ones that do it as well. John Goat, clearly, he must be one of the people that think that it is okay to talk down on Black folks. Even though if he was to come up here, he had no way to substantiate his argument why we should be able to just say the N-word towards black folks in a derogatory way while brandishing a gun, and while calling them a monkey while doing it. I'm pretty sure he can't find a way to describe why that is okay. Welcome to the show. The Night. Good day, Night. How you doing today? Beautiful to see you. What's your thoughts?
Hope you're doing well out there in the beautiful place you're at.
I
want to ask you a question though. Do you think we need to have a universal standard amongst men that can't be shaken or waving? I think a lot of people have escapes because we don't have this universal thing where this is the standard. Do you think we need to have a standard that can't be like gray? It got to be straight black and white. You either this or you that.
Shout out to April. I believe we need to attempt to have that.
Because listen, Sharon, when I see you, you have a certain way you walk around and you move and you want people to see it. And I don't think a lot of people have that.
It's a great, but the only way we could set that standard is by focusing and working on self first. And I think that's the standard that we have to be able to uphold for men, is that you are the standard first. So if you want things to be better, you yourself, before you start preaching, you have to be better. You have to be moving in that direction that you want the community to be in. You cannot say, I want, for example, like John Goat, he talks bad about the black community all the time. And he says that black people, we drink too much and we smoke too much. And he's the main one.
Drinking and smoking.
Come on. That's a standard that cannot be ignored. Like, hey, you cannot, like, you ain't the one. You too high, you too drunk to be talking about drunkenness and highness, sir.
I see you have conversations up here and you say, this is what we're talking about. And the thing that frustrates me is that it's like they don't, no, let's just talk about this one thing, get this out the way, and then we can talk about this other thing. They'll come up here, they just want to talk about what they're talking about. It's like they don't understand that. No, right now we talking about just men and men's standard and what a man's supposed to do. Why are you talking about kids and women and cars and sports and all these other things that have nothing to do with the thing at the time? And if we as a man can get a standard to like maybe around like 60 to 70% of men improving themselves first, and once, because what men don't realize, Knight, is if they approve themselves first, the households is going to approve automatically. Yeah, you're supposed to be the structure and the standard and the example, and people follow suit, and then that's communities and that's family, and that's how we build. If you don't have no structure, so when I listen to the sniffer, weed smoker, beer drinker, tequila sipper talk about the black folk, I'll be like, John Gawk, come on, man. You are literally talking about yourself most of the time. There he is. Let's see if he's sniffing and smoke. What, I'm gonna leave him alone. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens first. And also shout out to Chaotic Truth saying that he's done more work for the community than us too. I think that is just wrong. So because a lot of people will do good in said situations, but they would do 10 times as worse than what they actually bring into that goodness that they're doing. So yes, for example, that's just yes, you took care of your kids, but you whooped their ass and you gave them mental health issues because you was a drunkard. Yeah, you took care of them, but you also whooped their ass every goddamn day. And then now they turn to goddamn Hernandez from the Patriots and they go around deleting people. So yes, you can absolutely do something for a community and also do things that's going to destroy way worse than what you put in. Let's give John Galt the floor. Good day, sir. What is your thoughts?
I think, if you look
Your
into
microphone's pretty loud, so there you go. Yeah, bring it up just a little bit.
I think if you looked into the other party, you realize this wasn't like a hero here. He wasn't just standing outside somewhere minding his own business. He brought the fight to Chud. He left his home. He announced on YouTube or whatever internet, hey, I'm about to go confront Chud. And Chud had never called him the N-word. Chud had never met this guy. But here's this black took it up upon himself to fight the black fight. And I think that shows you that the blacks have some kind of, there's some self-conscious issues, some conscious issues that they're embarrassed that this man felt he had to fight for all of us. He had to go fight Chud, the builder, no less, for all of us. He left his wife, his children behind, the wife that he'd beaten up before and threatened to burn her house down. He left her behind to go fight the white man. This really shows you the problem with blacks. They're hell-bent on white people and why they're destroying their own house. And he is the guy that did that.
So that one black man is the reason why majority of black men are having a problem?
I'm not talking about the majority of black men. When I'm in this particular instance, when I'm saying it does kind of paint a picture.
So let's clarify what you mean by the blacks, because you said this black man went to go ahead and chase down Chud, and that's the problem with the blacks. That's what you said. So when you say the blacks, what percentage of black people?
Well, now we're getting caught up on it, but on what percentage it is. But again, I think you would admit that. Okay. Hold on, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you. No, hold on. No, I need to understand your premise first. Are you talking about minority of black people or majority? Because when you typically say the blacks, most people are going to take in account that you are talking about in general, and in general means the majority.
Yes.
Well, okay, here's what I say. When I say the blacks, Chud the Builder knew that he could go out and say the N-word, and there would be enough blacks that would respond and make him go viral, right? That was a gamble that he made. That was a gamble that he made.
Pause there. So, with that being said, how many black folks have actually tried to attack him?
Well,
all the years that he's been.
Well, I think multiple people have knocked his head off or something like that. But all it takes is one to prove the point that blacks are so violent over a word.
Hold on, but that's not what you're representing. You're representing that this man, he's been doing this for years, correct? Chud the Builder has been doing this for years.
I've never heard of it.
So now you don't know anything.
I don't know his history.
Okay, has he been doing it for at least a year? Has he been doing it for at least 1 year?
You tell me. I don't know.
More than a year.
I don't know. I don't know anything about him.
Okay, fine. So you know about. Okay, so he's been doing it for more than a year. That's number one. All right. So now, with that being said, he's been doing this for more than a year. The reason why he's going viral, you think is because of black folks or racist white folks?
If blacks were ignoring him, we wouldn't even know who he is. Well, I think it's because the black people.
Hold on. You missing what I'm asking you. Let me ask what I'm asking you.
All right,
do you believe the reason why he's going viral is because of racist white people or because of black people?
Blacks. Their responses to him.
Most black people are non-confrontational. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, John Galt.
Well, why do you think
most of the black? Let me say this to you, brother. Let me say this to you, brother.
Say what you gotta say, then you get the chance to respond, John.
Yeah. The majority of black people that he call N-words and tell them that they're chimping out, don't touch him. They ignore him.
Is that because he has a gun on him? Could that be because he has a gun on him?
No.
And he's filming.
Okay, even if. Okay, so hold on, John. Hold on. So let me make sure I understand this, John. So the person that's going around antagonizing somebody with a gun, you don't see that as a issue?
Well, I think you're mixing words here. I haven't watched many of these videos.
Question. That's why I asked you a question.
I don't think he's antagonizing. I'm not going to answer that question because I think you kind of.
John, I want you to answer. Don't say I'm mixing words when I'm asking you a question. So I'm giving you the space to answer. So this way, it's no misunderstanding.
All right, go ahead and answer the question.
But don't say I'm mixing any words when I'm literally asking you a question. I'm not putting anything on you. I'm asking you so this way you could clarify so I know what's your premise. do you believe that this white man with a gun on him antagonizing black folks, do you agree that black people should just what? What's your premise?
Well, if you accept the premise that you can antagonize black people by calling them a word, then I say, well, I'll go along with whatever you're saying. That if blacks can be provoked by words, then you probably shouldn't be doing it, right?
Pause there.
Right? They shouldn't be doing it, right?
So, do you believe that there's any other people that could get antagonized by a word?
Not the way that blacks can. Not anywhere near. No.
So what is the Anti-Defamation League for?
I need you to answer the question, right?
I'm saying the answer is no. I said no. I'm saying no. Now, there could be some
black people, the only group of people that get antagonized by a word
and get violent with it. Yeah.
No.
So you mean to tell me if you go over to a Muslim country where they literally got laws about if you say certain things, they can whoop your ass in the street. You saying those people do not get violent over words?
Well, I mean, I don't know much about them, so I guess that would be an example, an extreme example.
Okay, that would be one. But in
reality,
so that's one example.
Okay, so you gave me an extreme example. All right, go ahead.
I
got your extreme
extreme. It's not extreme.
I want you to understand that is a whole. They got whole nations that created laws to be violent against people saying certain words. A law. But not just in the street, but Sharon, you have this.
Sharon, you don't have to go into detail with it.
I just want you to deal. Hold on, John. I want you to deal in the truth.
You blacks made me drink earlier,
and not just your belief.
No, you just a drunk.
Sharon, in all fairness, you're. What's up, buddy? What's up, Sharon? What's up?
I'm telling the truth. In all fairness, I'm telling the truth, chaotic. That's
Sharon, your examples, your examples are wrong because you're naming Middle East. You're naming you're naming countries. Yes, it's true, but you're also naming countries that have theocracies based on Islam. So
but you don't have to leave the country.
But wait a minute.
You don't have to leave the country. Let's stay in America. Do they have an
Sharon left the country. He's the one who
get a chance to defend it.
Sharon is literally the one who mentioned these countries over in the Middle East. He went out of America. America has the First Amendment. I don't necessarily agree with John in his entire argument, but you have to ask yourself, why do blacks respond to him without just completely just ignoring him and just walking away? You have to ask yourself that. Now, I will admit, in my opinion,
the majority of black people do ignore him and walk away.
But again, you guys are making claims about John, and as an outsider looking in, right? You guys sound absolutely crazy. Here goes a man. He's pure black. He has pure black children. He's in a black neighborhood housing blacks. Bro, everybody sounds crazy when you question. Chaotic. Mike, let me just finish, bro. Please, let me just finish. You guys sound crazy when you talk about John. Like, it's almost cartoonish at this point.
Well, John is good. Let's be honest.
I hold on. So I got a question for you, Chaotic Truth.
Sure.
Or is this early in the morning?
If a black man get pulled over, he starts screaming and yelling at a police officer, and then that police officer finally reacts, beat him up, drag him out the car.
The police officer's in the wrong.
Huh?
The police officer would be in the wrong. Yeah.
But Sharon, why do you have to paint all these?
But what does that have to do with?
Is that
So now, so that's in the wrong in that situation. So now let's put it in a cop standing on the corner. Somebody come up to that cop and antagonize that cop, and that cop also whoops that person's ass. What would you say to that?
Why keep coming up with these hypotheticals?
Yeah, it doesn't make because
I want to see if I want to hear the consistency.
Sharon,
I need to
because they make perfect.
Sharon, as long as Chud half the damn time was harassing people. He's in people's personal space. So that's where I disagree with John to a degree. Even the situation with the guy shooting, Chad shooting, to me, based on the evidence that I've seen with Chud, I could assume that regardless if that dude saw where Chud was at, Chud still is the instigator based on his previous actions. I'll agree with you on that. I disagree with John on that.
Let me step in for 1 second.
No, John, let me
step in. Well, fuck it then.
What I agree with John is that I agree with John in terms of you can exercise your First Amendment in this country.
Okay, pause there, chaotic truth. Hold on. What does that mean?
That means that Chud could sing the N-word out in public. Who cares?
And hold on. He could say the N-word out in public, and what should not happen to him if he say it out in public?
What should not happen is him getting attacked.
No. That's not what the first. Hold on. That's not what the amendment is about, and you know that.
You know what the founders.
What is the amendment actually about? It is about who not being able to do something to him.
Hold on,
John. Hold on. Chaotic truth. Who is it protecting?
The government. It's the protection against the government.
Yes. It's to protect from the government, not from who? Citizens, correct?
So citizens are able. But the citizens are still committing assault, so it doesn't really matter. It's still assault.
Hold
on, John, because I want to make sure, because way too many times I got you, John. I promise you. I want to make sure we finish that conversation about the First Amendment. The problem is too many people conflate the First Amendment with regular everyday people.
Agree.
The First Amendment is about the government. It don't got nothing to do with me whooping your ass because you said something out of line to me.
Sharon, can I say this to you before I go? You don't live around blacks. I'm assuming Knight doesn't live around blacks.
I live about.
If anybody can make a OG call about blacks, you got to listen to John.
OG call.
Because, bro, Knight, no offense, bro. You're sitting up here half damn white looking, bro. John is the only OG black on the panel. I'm telling you the truth. How crazy this shit looks. I'm telling you, as a person just watching this shit for many years with John, you guys sound crazy when you say that John
California raised
black.
You're not finna sit up here and try.
You are not black like John, bro. Like, I rock you, bro. You are not black like John, bro. If anybody can make
a man that's drinking Budweiser at 7 a.m. in the morning,
the man's in shape.
It better
It don't matter what he's drinking. The man's in goddamn.
Hold on. One at a time.
Is it my turn to speak? Sharon, it should be my turn to speak, man.
Yes, but we gotta let's let it settle down just a little bit. Also, the likes is disrespectful. We got over 200 people here. We need more likes. We're not even close to 100. We need more likes. We need more shares. We need to get 400 people here because y'all hitting the like and the share button. That's how we get those numbers
200 up. Likes at least 200 likes.
Hey, let me say something, Sharon. And again,
at night, let's let John get a chance to get in there and help his boy CT out. I want to also bring in Everybody Hates Mont as well. Also, I want to thank Everybody Hate Mont in the public as well. Salute to Everybody Hates Mont.
I'm not going to cut off the weed smoking, Budweiser drinking. Go ahead, John. Have your way.
Thank you, Knight. I appreciate you, Knight.
I think what we're seeing here is some confusion. You oftentimes hear the blacks say the First Amendment doesn't protect you from getting your ass whooped. The problem is, and I don't disagree with what you're saying, blacks are such a protected class that they are kind of skirting the line of whipping your ass for the government because they're not getting punished. No one's talking about this domestic violence guy. Look at all the crimes he's committed. No punishment. But now he can go down and whoop a white man's ass almost for the government. He's protected. And so this First Amendment, if a white man had jumped on him, he wouldn't be protected like this. But a black man almost functions kind of as a government apparatus. And allowing him to go out and attack people because of what someone's saying, it's almost like the government is wink, wink, nod, nod, allowing it. And that's the problem is because white people can't do that. White people can't go out and attack black people without getting a hate crime on them. You don't think that this black man had hatred for white people deep down? We may never hear it from him, but he probably didn't like white people. Let's be honest.
So I want Knight to. I know Knight want to. Let's go Knight and then Chaotic Truth. So I know they both want to join in on this part. But look, if that black man is saying hateful things while whooping that white boy ass, he will absolutely get hit with a hate crime. Go ahead.
For sure.
So I like what John Galt just said. The black man you said is a government apparatus, right?
Damn near, yeah.
So that's beautiful that you said that, because here's the situation. That's exactly what that indoctrinated black man is. He's a Manchurian candidate. They got shot by a cracker who loves to say the N-word.
And not one black.
Wait, I'm agreeing. Wait, John. Why would you cut me off?
You're right. My bad.
Why would you cut me off when I'm agreeing with you?
You're correct. My bad. My bad.
That young black man is a Manchurian candidate that's indoctrinated to do something outside of his own thinking. He don't even think for himself. He just hear nigga and chud. Let me react. And he got shot. And then the goofy shot himself.
Damn.
And now he got to sit in jail because he's so lame and dumb. They both are apparatuses of the government, if you ask me.
Well, Nighties, the whole shot himself. I mean, they may have been tussling over the gun, and he ended up shooting himself. We don't know what the circumstances were. We don't have the video. But I think regardless of what Chud was doing, we really have to focus on what would spur a black man who's already prone to violence. He say he's PTSD. He's attacked his wife. He's threatened to burn down the house that his children live in. We got to focus on that, because if he had never attacked Chud, he would have just been a menace in the community. One of many, one of thousands of menaces in the community. So, like,
so you got earlier.
Now I'm saying you got Chud. You sent this boy on a kamikaze mission who's willing to kill black people too. Now we got to admit that he's willing to kill a black woman. And so now we send him on a kamikaze mission and he got Chud. Hold on, but the underlying behavior, the underlying behavior, this violence in the community,
Hold on one second, John. So the problem is, right, like, you keep focusing on the reaction. Why not focus on the actual action that happened?
Well, the actual action that happened is that a black man left his home.
If you can, before we talk about the reaction, which is crazy to me, to be honest with you, that's crazy to me. Can you please tell me what is negative about the action that Chud was doing on a day-to-day basis to make money off of dehumanizing a group of people? Can you talk to us?
Okay, let me ask you this question, and because this is why I'm
talk towards that. Yes or no?
I don't
Would
find
you be
it.
able to talk?
I don't find
Can you
it.
talk towards that?
I don't find it dehumanizing to call black people the N-word. If they respond to it, then that probably says more about them. I don't find it dehumanizing.
Why don't you want to answer
because the question was he's saying they're dehumanizing people. I don't believe that.
Hold on. Do you find it dehumanizing when you call a human being an animal reference?
Did he call them animals? I didn't hear him say that. What the chimp? I don't find it. No. The answer is no.
I just need you to, John.
No.
Do you find it if I call you a monkey, am I dehumanizing you?
I don't find it dehumanizing. Call me a monkey right now, I'll tell you. Call me a monkey.
Chimp.
It's a
chimp.
Doesn't bother me.
Hold on, Johnson. So I can understand this. So I can understand this. A human being calling you something other than a human being is not dehumanizing?
No, it doesn't bother me.
So
what do dehumanizing? What do dehumanizing?
Let's try it. Let's try it right now.
What do dehumanizing mean to you?
I don't think another man can dehumanize me. It's not by words.
Answer the question.
I don't know. I don't know because I can't. My mind can't go there. My mind can't go there. Right?
Slow down, John. Slow down. Can do dehumanizing have a meaning? Does it have a definition?
I'm sure it does, but it for me it doesn't.
John, it does. Okay. I'm glad that you said it does. Great, because the definition was not designed for you, correct? It was designed for the world.
Okay, so I'll give you some things I think are
so now it's
dehumanizing.
designed for the world. Can you, because I see you have your computer in front, can you look up the word dehumanize?
No, I can give you some examples. I'll give you an example of what I think would be dehumanizing someone.
Let's say if you want to look it up.
Let's say if he hold on. Let's say if he enslaved.
Why don't you want to look it up?
I don't want to, because I can tell you some examples. If he were able to, I don't think you could dehumanize someone with words. But I think if you were enslaving someone,
John. We need to establish definitions of what we're talking about. And everybody hates. Hold on. Everybody hates your microphone. Don't sound like how it usually does. So I'm gonna say something to you, John, and you tell me if you agree with this definition. Sure. Mm-hmm. Dehumanizing refers to the act of process. Oh, somebody put it so this way I don't have to think about it. Dehumanizing refers to the act or process of stripping someone of their individuality, dignity, or human qualities. Okay. Now, calling a man a monkey, is that taking away human qualities?
Not for me. Not for me.
I didn't say for you.
My dignity.
Hold on, I didn't say for you. Hold on, John. John, I need you to answer the question. Calling somebody a monkey, is that taking away their human quality? Yes or no?
No.
You're wrong. And the problem
so black people being called monkeys for historical purposes, did that strip away dignity?
I can't speak about historical purposes. I can just say today.
Hold on, John. So let me get this right. So right now we are having a discussion about your feelings, your beliefs, and what you think, and nothing to do with facts. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, facts. I mean, I don't listen. Everyone. I would say you kind of like you're parsing things.
Yes or no?
What's the question again? Give it to me one more time.
Okay, John. This is what I need you to do. I'm not trying to argue your opinion.
Sure.
I'm not trying to argue your
ideology.
Can I ask you the question? Hold
on, John. You understand? Hold on. I need you to understand what I'm saying.
Sure. Go ahead.
I do not want to argue your belief. I do not want to argue your opinion.
Sure.
So just so we can get a clear understanding, this thing right here. Do you agree that this is a spoon? Yes or no?
That's the spoon.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So that's a fact. So now we established that we can come to a fact. So now I have this definition of what dehumanizing is. Okay. This is not me. This is not your belief or my belief. This is a fact. Can you agree with the fact of this definition? Yes or no?
That's the definition. I agree.
Okay, you can agree with that definition. Okay, so now that we establish a definition, this is what we're going to build our premise off of, not off of what I believe or what I think or what you believe or what you think. So now if I give you a quality other than human, am I taking away your quality as a human being?
No.
You just agreed.
This is crazy.
Well, let me.
So wait, John. 1 second. John, 1 second.
No, let me.
The reason why, John, 1 second, brother. 1 second.
No. Let me. No, you can't do it.
I can do it. The reason why he said that to you was to establish a baseline that we all can agree upon. You agreed upon that baseline and then went against it the moment he challenged you on that baseline.
Okay, can I respond? Can I respond? Put the definition back up. Put the definition back.
For what? You're not going to agree to it.
What? I'm going to make an example.
So this is what we're going to do.
You're not going to do it.
That was just no. The crazy part is that that was just crazy. And you are the one that's going to say that black men are not intelligent enough. Even though I gave you a premise that we both agreed to before we started the conversation, and because it doesn't fit within your argument parameters, all of a sudden you have this thing that you just had to fight it and say no, just so it could fit your narrative instead of fitting the actual facts of what we were over the facts that we were reading. We read it and agreed. That is wild. That shows lack of intelligence. Also, let me shout out to the Cash App. It says the coonanism is more detrimental than abandoned parents. Oh my God. That was crazy. Also, hold on one second, John. I know you want to talk. Hold on. Also, Cash App, it says, how many chuds are there online and offline? Great question. That is an awesome question. Also, support for the show. Thank you so much, everybody that hit the Cash App. Make sure y'all hitting that like, the share, and absolutely the super chat is open. Let's keep on building. We have over 200. Let's get another 200 by hitting that like and that share button. John, I don't know why you just arguing to argue.
No, I'm not arguing to argue. I don't argue to argue. I would agree with you if I agree with you. As a
man, after we came up to a premise, you should not be able to disagree a premise that you agreed upon.
I come up on your panel, you just appreciate me.
Why you talking while I'm talking, John? John, why you talking while I'm talking? I'm just trying to establish a truthful conversation, brother. And then when we agreed to something that we are going to build our conversation off of this fact, you went against that premise. That is wild and is ridiculous. Why would you do something like that?
Can I respond to what you were saying earlier? Or do I have to respond to why would I do something like that? Here's the thing, Sharon. Part of the definition there, the dehumanizing someone, there was an aspect of dignity. If Chud the Builder or anyone come up and say anything to me, I've had people say much things worse to me than Chud the Builder. I've had people threaten to kill me. That's dehumanizing as well. But I didn't feel a loss of dignity. I didn't feel like my humanity had been stripped by their words. They have the right to say whatever the hell they want to say. And I'm strong enough to not feel dehumanized by what someone says to me. Now, if you restrict my right to movement,
okay, pause there.
Like that, then I feel dehumanized. Hey, let me ask you. You ever been to jail? No. You've been on a mother. Let me ask you this. You ever been in jail? You ever been in jail before?
Slow down, John. Slow down. Hold on.
Yeah, sure.
If somebody's attempting to disrespect you, right? They doing it on purpose. Can I now say, hey, John, that person is disrespecting you? Or are you going to say, well, I don't care if you disrespect me. I think he's being real respectful. Is that that's your premise?
I don't understand your hypothetical.
Right. Just like how I don't understand yours. So if the person is actually doing something to you, does that change the way, because you are not responding in kind with him, does that make it less true that he is dehumanizing you? Or he is attempting to take away your dignity?
You can't take away my dignity with words.
Okay, again, you missed what I'm saying. You're not hearing
I'm just talking about the whole Chud the Builder thing. I can't do this.
No, but you're not listening. Hold on. The problem that we're having with this conversation is that you're not listening.
Sure.
You're trying to just say what you want to say without actually having a real fruitful conversation, which shows your lack of intelligence.
Yeah. It's disingenuous.
I just want to
if we're going to have a conversation about if somebody is attempting to do something, right? He dehumanized you. Whether you accept his dehumanization or not is irrelevant to our conversation at hand. Did he do it? Yes. Do you care about it? No. Those are two different conversations. But he did do it.
Okay, so
can I act as if we understand the conversation, please?
Okay, can I ask you a question? Since we're having a back and forth.
Why can't you answer his question?
Okay, you got another question for me. I don't get to asking a question.
No, you don't.
Okay, I got you.
What makes you think that? Hold on. What makes you think that you could just hold on, John? What makes you believe that you could just skip over what I'm asking you to ask me something? Do you look at that? Right. After you do that, is that a sign of disrespect? Yes or no?
I'm not here to disrespect people, but if you take it that way, then
no. Oh my goodness!
Now you're saying I disrespect you, bro.
I ask you a very direct question as a man to say yes or no, and you don't answer it. Is that a sign of disrespect? Yes or no?
I know what you want, so let me just give you what you want. Yes, that's disrespectful. That's what you want.
All right, so John, if you are a man that's saying that black folks should not be disrespectful, why are you being disrespectful to another black man?
So you think I'm being disrespectful to you? Okay.
Yes.
No.
Question,
wait, John. You do this right here. Sharon established a baseline that you agreed upon. Then he asked you a question that you wouldn't answer. You asked him, could you ask him a question? Then you also said that words don't really bother you, right? If somebody tell you, right?
You look what you've done on my channel. Did that? But I'm still here with you. I'm not calling you names.
We're talking about today. John, we're talking about today. We're talking about today.
Right.
Let them finish what
So let's talk about what's happening. Chud the Builder really highlighted the issue with blacks and that they will respond.
Okay, you're skipping past the question.
Is that what we're talking
about? Hold on. Hey, John. So white men that do what Chud the Builder is doing, is that an issue?
For whom? Issue for whom?
Anybody that's just trying to make it through the day and not bothering anybody.
I don't think it's an issue, no. No, I don't
So you think that it's okay for people to antagonize other people in the street?
If you consider what he was doing antagonizing, sure.
Okay, so wait. Let's say right there. That's perfectly fine. Because you just said that I did something. This is all that I did, John Galt. I called you a slumlord.
But you came on my channel while I wasn't.
I called you a slumlord, yeah.
But it's basically what you did was like came on my private property.
Right. That's what Chud did. Yes.
But he wasn't going on anyone's private property doing that. If he was doing that,
he walks around amongst regular people and dehumanizes them. All I did was listen to you talk about the blacks and said, you are describing yourself. When you talk about them drinking, you drink. When you talk about them smoking, you smoke. When you talking about them just sitting around wasting their time, you literally are the person you're describing. And you say it doesn't bother you. And I did this months ago.
But you did it on my property. Again, I would have a big hold on. I would have a big problem if
John, I don't know what's going on with your mental right now, but it's very strange to me.
We just talking
we're gonna try to let it calm down just a little bit, so this way it won't get too heightened. Make sure y'all hitting that like and the share button. It's crazy that we are not at over 100 likes. It's crazy that we are not hitting the share button. This is the only way we're gonna have to build together. This is the only way we do it. We over 200. More likes, more shares. We get another 200. I'm gonna do this. So this way it can just calm down just a little bit, John. All right, just give me, because it's a little too hot and it's too early for the heat.
Who's hot?
Right, that shows that it is hot because you have to interrupt me to say that. Everybody Hates Smart, welcome into the show. Once again, thank you so much, Everybody Hates Smart, for that plug that you gave me. I want to appreciate you in the public. Thank you so much. And also, John, I want you to talk to your point, but I want you to talk about what we are actually talking about, John. Please go ahead. Everybody Hates Mine.
So listening to the conversation, being honest, I think it would sound like John is being the highest level of disingenuous as possible. That's what it would sound like, right? And sounding like that, you would almost lose all credibility when it comes to having any type of conversation, or at least this conversation. It's like your credibility will be shot. But I do think that the one piece that may be there is maybe y'all just still misunderstanding each other. Now, I think that when y'all talking to John, I think he's operating under the idea that the statement has to impact him in a way that dehumanizes him. And I think that's the issue. Whereas it's all about the intention. If the intention is to dehumanize, that's what we're talking about, not necessarily how it impacts you, because you could walk away and be like, "Nigga, I don't give a fuck about what you say," right? But that's not what we're talking about. It's dehumanizing when the person has an intention to dehumanize you, not necessarily if you walk away feeling dehumanized. That's irrelevant. Do you understand that part, John?
Sure, I get what you're saying.
Okay, cool. Because that's
I don't agree with you, but I do get what you're saying.
So you think that in order to say something dehumanizing, the other individual has to be impacted in a way where they feel dehumanized, instead of someone, if I say something to purposely dehumanize you, it's not dehumanizing if you don't feel dehumanized?
Yes, he's kind of like compound questions.
So
Again,
I'll give you an example. If I see a,
you gotta give me an example, man. Give me an example.
If I see a baby crawling on the floor, right? I'm like, look at that little monkey. You look like a little dog. Like, let's put him outside in the yard. You know, this little baby. I'm gonna take this little baby. I'm gonna put him outside in the yard, right? That baby has no idea what I'm saying, right? But the baby's out in the yard. Am I dehumanizing the baby by saying the things that I'm saying, even though this baby does not give a fuck about what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, you've drawn such a dire example that, I mean, like, who wouldn't? I mean, first off, I
can't when it's a yes or no. When it's a yes or no question, what's all that other stuff, John?
I didn't even get the answer. As I said, I think
that's the problem. That's why we stopped you, because you're not answering the question.
Well, I mean, I don't get a chance to answer, man. Then I'll just listen to you guys. You know, I'll sit here for
no. He asking you a question, yes or no, and you start going into a discussion.
I don't think you want to.
Is it dehumanizing? Yes or no?
I don't think you want an answer. You want me to just say yes and no?
Please answer that, John.
Nah, that's all right. I'd rather not. You guys answer, and I'll just listen to you.
John, please just answer what everybody hates. Asks you. Answer the question.
Well,
did the baby get dehumanized? Yes or no?
I think the person's actions who put the baby out showed he's inhuman,
yes or no.
So I don't think the baby necessarily got dehumanized. If so, it was by the mother or whoever abandoned that child.
Yes or no.
So I guess if you want to go with this, if you want to go with this extreme example, if you want to go with this extreme example,
hold on, John. Hold on, John.
You blacks to move ahead.
You got to slow down, John.
Just yes, so the blacks move ahead. Move ahead, blacks.
John.
Just move ahead.
John, nobody put the baby outside.
He said he did say the baby was put outside.
He said he used words. Put that baby outside because it's a monkey or a dog or something like that.
He said put the baby outside.
Physically listen to the question, please.
All right.
Okay. Mont, ask it one more time, and please, John, answer the actual question. Don't go into something else. Go ahead, Mont.
Yeah. I think I even have a better one for him. So
we got another one.
Okay.
Better one.
Yeah, we're gonna change it because you couldn't answer it, so he's gonna give you a different question. Go ahead.
In this scenario, this individual does not speak the language that you speak, but they're an adult, right? And you're saying around this person like, oh, this person is from this country. This person is a dog. They eat with their hands over here. This person is the lower level of a human being than me. Are you dehumanizing that person by saying that? This person has no idea what you're saying.
No.
And why am I not dehumanizing that person?
Well, if you look at the definition of dehumanizing a person, are you stripping away his dignity? He don't even know what the hell you're saying.
Okay, so stay right there. Stay right there. So why does slumlord affect you so much?
It doesn't affect me. You call me what you like.
You played the rap song yourself and said they called me a slumlord. Everybody's calling me a slumlord. It was. It wasn't.
I embrace it. See, that's what I'm saying. I removed the power from it.
I think
I removed the power from it. Call me slumlord. Say whatever you like.
I might have figured out another issue. So when you say you're zeroing in on loss of dignity, right?
Sure, that was one of the terms in it.
So when you hear loss of dignity, or however it was said, you think that has to be, you think the person has to internalize this in a way for it to be dehumanizing?
Can I give you an example?
Okay,
sure.
My mother grew up during segregation. And they would have to like go around back to use the bathroom and shit like that, when the white people got the chance to go use the bathroom inside the retail department stores. They had to make the blacks go around back, even to order food and stuff like that. My mother lived through that. She told me about these things. That's dehumanizing, I think. I would go so far as to say that's dehumanizing. Even though they gave them a bathroom. But that fact that they said this bathroom ain't good enough for you to use with the white people, you gotta go around back. I would, it's not necessarily harming, but it makes you feel, and it's institutionalized that, and it was institutionalized. The government instituted it, or allowed the people to do it.
So John,
I think that's inhumane.
Yeah. So if I had no issue if I actually preferred to use that bathroom, right?
I don't think they did though. I don't think they did.
Well, you have no idea which one.
When my mother was told, she told me like
Well,
it would be it would lower your dignity to have to go around back while everyone else gets to use the main restroom.
Well, yeah, but I'll give you an example. Like, I'll give you an example.
I was going along with that.
This is a word example, right? Like,
Mhm.
but whenever I have to like pee outside, like on a tree, because there's no bathrooms, I'm like, oh, this is freeing, right? You know, like I don't gotta aim at nothing. I'm just peeing on a tree. You know, that's an example of like, and I get it. Like people be like, oh no, when I get the opportunity to pee on a tree, I actually like it, right? Now, in that example, I don't feel dehumanized. So if somebody went around there and they didn't feel dehumanized by having to go outside, does that mean it wasn't dehumanizing?
Well, I think to them, I guess you could say so, but I think in general, you're separating facilities is being enacted by the government or allowed by the government to say that this group of people gets to use these facilities that are often in remote locations and things like that. And again, I think the bigger part is the government is coming in.
But John, now you're adding to the definition.
I don't think one man can lower your dignity.
John, you're adding to the definition, right? But now you're adding a portion where now the government has to come in.
Well, who else can lower your dignity other than the government? If the government would have enslaved you, you ever been in jail, Mike? You ever been in jail? Hey, hold on, Mike. You ever been in jail?
Yes.
Okay. Did you feel like less than a human when you were in jail? I did. Did you feel less than a human?
Wait. Why did you feel less than a human when you went to jail?
Okay, I'll explain it. Because you don't get to eat what you want to eat. You don't get to go where you want to go. You got to share a cell with someone else. That's not like how regular humans live. So at that point, and actually the government doesn't even see you. They see you as like I forget the name, but you're like a part of them. They own you in that sense that you can't have sex with anyone. It's against the law. You know, all those things make you like in my opinion, this is just my opinion.
John, you just have to be gay.
But I think, but again, here's one thing. I used to work for the Department of Justice.
John, you can't add that layer to the definition.
A correctional officer can't have sex with a prisoner because
hold on, please. Hold on. We're not talking about correction officers.
I'm just saying that you don't have the ability.
I know what you're just saying, that y'all always just saying things that y'all think is connecting, but it don't connect.
No, you can't. You don't have.
It's a completely different. It's a completely different conversation. The problem is you don't want to. You're afraid to be wrong in the conversation. You just you're just not intelligent enough to actually have this conversation, and it's really showing. You want to just talk about your narrative. And you want to try to prove a point. So I got a question for you, John. So this way we can see how much you want to actually have this conversation or not. If a black man was to go into a white neighborhood and antagonize white people, do you see a problem with that?
No.
None whatsoever.
You go do it. He can go do exactly what Chud is doing. I don't have a problem with that.
So why do you have a problem with black people then?
Well, what I do have a problem with is a man leaving his home, his children. Well, he's already prone to violence.
Hold on. Stop again. Hold on.
Yeah.
So a black man going to a white neighborhood, showing his gun to white folks and saying, hey, you don't want to come over here, I'm going to shoot you.
No, I didn't say that. Now, I think if a black man...
Hold on. John, that's what Chud did.
Well, if he did that, he should have been charged a long time ago. If he was brandishing a gun on people, I haven't followed him. So if that's what you're saying, I'm surprised.
So that's what he did. So now, can you, as a black man, talk about this white man's degenerate behavior, because they have a history of doing things what Chud is doing? Can you now please talk about the degenerate behavior that these white people keep doing day in, day out, year after year, decade after decade?
So now I want to ask you a question. You said something. I want to clarify what you said.
You said no.
You said something though that I want to clarify.
No, I asked you. No. I said no. So again, just like your mama, she had to deal with racist white men, making her take a piss and shit other than where she wanted to, and drink out of certain fountains and strip away your mama's dignity. And then now we got this white man in 2026 trying to strip away black folks' dignity by brandishing his gun, by calling the N-word and calling them monkeys. I want you to talk towards that. Can you talk about those degenerate white men that do things like that? What is your thoughts about those men that do those things?
You know, as I was about to say to you, Sharon, I did not know that he had brandished a gun on anybody. I didn't know that.
I don't care if you didn't know. You know now. So now that you got that information, now that you have that information, can you please talk towards those white men that do things like that?
Well, I would say that if he did that, if he brandished a gun on someone, he should have been.
I'm telling you, so you don't trust me.
I'm agreeing. I'm going to take what you're saying is the gospel. I'm saying if he's done that, then he should have been arrested.
If you believe me, why are you saying if?
Well, I'm saying, taking your word, he should have been arrested a long time ago.
No, John.
That's fine. I don't care about that. I'm asking you. Hold on. No, you're missing what I'm asking you. I need you to talk towards those men that act like that. What is your thoughts on men that act like that?
I think it's deplorable behavior. You shouldn't be going around pulling guns on people. And if that's what he did, according to you, then he should have been arrested a long time ago, because that's a very serious crime. Pulling a gun on somebody, like, that's a felony. That's a real serious felony, right?
He left up his shirt. He left up his shirt. He didn't pull it out.
Well, I don't know about lifting up shirt, but I don't know what it stands in the law.
It's brandishing.
But I know if that's brandishing, I don't know. But I know pulling out a gun is serious, and I don't know what brandishing is. I don't know what the definition is. But if that's
brandishing is just
okay. I didn't know if he was wearing a gun in a holster or what. But if he's done that, I'm surprised he hasn't been arrested a long time ago.
I don't want to be disrespectful. All right.
Yeah. Good morning, PhD.
Welcome to the show. The beautiful PhD, the supreme badger vessel, and also bomb cherry juice. Too strong for life. I think her presence just chased away John Gold.
Oh, he left?
Damn.
That was a pussy move, John. Don't be so weak next time. Good morning, PhD. Good morning, Bomb Cherry.
Good morning,
her microphone not even on yet. That's crazy.
Good morning, Sharon.
Good day, Bomb Cherry. How you doing?
I'm okay. How PhD?
Sheesh.
Is she in the back?
Crazy. Yeah, she in the back, but her microphone ain't on yet, so she probably stepped away. That was crazy.
That was crazy. You know what was the crazy part about it, Sharon? When you asked him a question, that nigga lit up a brand new blunt and got a brand new Budweiser to sip on.
I came up to let seem like he don't know anything about that dude. So he has been pulling guns out on people or brandishing his weapon, threatening them, and he has gone to jail. And that's why he even made a threat the night before he did that shooting. He put it that he gonna put one of them in the grave.
That's Judd the Builder. That's his whole get down.
Yes, and then that's why he's being charged the way he is. Then the fool shot himself too.
Because he's a lame. He shot the dude and shot himself.
He shot him and himself, yes.
Yes.
And the guy kept telling him, leave me alone. I suffer from PTSD. And he just kept going at that man. And then he shot that man.
Damn.
Yo, Sharon, I think we read him the wrong definition. Because the definition that I found is much more clear, you know, and less with less
read
ambiguity.
It out, Mark. Read it out.
It says dehumanizing, treating a person or group as if they are not human or as if they have no value, dignity, or feelings.
Right. Which is what he was doing. So, did y'all see he had a fight with a black man? They was about to, that black man said, oh, you got yours, I got a license to carry too. And and all the black people started filming him. He would go in black communities and do this.
Yeah, that was his MO. So Mark, after you reading that definition, do you believe it changes the fact what Chubb was doing was dehumanizing?
No, not at all. But I think that it would make it so he grabbed on to that part of the definition where it said removing dignity, and in his brain, if you can't remove my dignity, which has to do with me and not you, regardless of what you say, then you can't dehumanize me. Whereas the definition that I read just said if I treat you as if you have no feelings, I'm dehumanizing you.
Yeah. And you know, but people like John Goat and you know, the Black MAGA conservatives, they would try to run that kind of game and act as if what Chud is doing, we as whoever the person is that's reacting to Chud is the problem.
Yeah.
That's the real issue. No, the person that's antagonizing is the problem. Even when I brought it down to him, he still couldn't talk towards the person that's actually doing the antagonizing, even when it came to his goddamn mother being antagonized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think John's problem is he has a mission to. He wants you to be like, hey, you know, don't be a victim, and you know, have strong skin. And I totally understand that, and I agree with it. However, you shouldn't allow that to make you be disingenuous during the conversation. Concede to a point, right? Just concede to the point. It is what it is because we trying to mine it out. But if you are like, you know what? If I think that if I concede to this, we're gonna lose the big picture of my point, so I'm not gonna concede. You start to look crazy.
No, well, I think you read John wrong. John is against the blacks, even though he's black. Okay, that's why he called us the blacks. And and if a black person could be racist of another black person, then that is him. That's John Galt. Unfortunately, he reflects, right? He knows how he is, and he knows black is like him, right? A slum.
And I think it's Bomb. I think it's very interesting as well, Bomb, that the dude Chud the Builder, also his own baby mama is keeping his kid away from him and changing the kid's last name so they won't have the same last name because Chud is so extreme with this situation of antagonizing black folks and trying to have a problem with black folks until you finally get it. And then people are online like Myron and Sneeko trying to defend the fact that no, we as black folks are supposed to have all the grace in the world, while everybody else, they don't have no grace for these type of situations whatsoever. They don't have no grace for that. If you go to their country and you disrespect them, you're going to get problems, bro.
Right.
You can't go to other countries and just say racist things. You're going to have problems, bro. You go to some countries and call people gypsies if you want to. You're going to have a problem.
Yeah, you know, he chimped out, as he would put it. He chimped out after that black woman saw him on the street, right? And she got out and she said, "Oh, I remember you." And he, you know, he acted like he didn't know her, but then he knew her. And then she admitted that she used to clap his cheeks. She used to, you know,
what?
Yeah, she's one of the women who, you know, do men for money.
What's her name? Verbal? What's her name? Verbal?
No. Oh, damn.
Don't do that to verbal feminine.
Oh no.
So she's saying that she used to, oh my goodness. So she used to be pounded.
Yeah, she used to pound his cheeks. He remembered, and she had to explain it because people attacked her when he realized he knew her. And she was like, "Yeah, you wasn't racist back then, because she used to pound him." And
that was crazy.
And then the next day, he took to the internet. The MAGA people started calling him gay and things, and then he went and shot that man.
Oh my, that's crazy! I didn't know that far of the story. I just knew that it was people trying to defend it. I was surprised that Sneeko, he went on ABBA's show and they was debating it. I thought it was hilarious because it was like he was debating his ex-girlfriend because his girlfriend looked just like Sneeko. So that was
That's funny. She do.
You know what I'm saying? I thought that was interesting. However, people like Sneagle that try to infiltrate our culture. This is the problem that we have, is that they keep trying to infiltrate our culture. They know the words, the lyrics, and how everything moves and how to dress and all these different things. And even some of them, they get so close that they could get away with saying the N-word and all these things. And then now, come years later, they the main ones pushing out the disrespect towards our culture. I find that terribly disrespectful. Somebody like John is one of those blacks that think that he has the protection with his complexion, but however, he is the person that is detrimental to our community the most.
Right.
Yeah, I think everybody was arguing. Like they just kept arguing. Like if somebody say something to you, you shouldn't have to physically put your hands on them. I think that when it comes to what is this bird gotta get out of it? When it comes to like situations where somebody has a pattern, like it's different, right? And people are thinking like, oh, legally, all he did was say something to you, so you can't do nothing. But when you actually looking at this case, I think a big portion of it is going to be like he was an antagonizer, so that plays a part when people are deciding on who's right, who's wrong. It's like, yo, you were purposefully trying to get this man to do something to you, so that's going to play a big part when they really try him. So,
right, and you know he has. Oh, okay.
You could, Bob.
Oh yeah. So he has. You know how he antagonized, and then some of the black men, they'll be like, they'll get in his face after he called him chipping. You know, that's when he say, "Stop chipping out." Look at him chipping out. He pulls out his phone, and then one guy, he just hit his head off his head. You know, kind of like, yeah, get away from me. And hit his, and he took out mace and pepper sprayed that man all in the face, and laughed about it. You know, and so.
Hey Bob, why do you believe majority of the people that are against black people, they feel like it's okay for us to accept disrespect?
I don't know.
Say that one more time for me.
The people that are against black folks, like, you know, the Myron, the Sneeko, the Chut, why do they think it's okay for us to accept disrespect? Yeah, man, you got it.
I'm processing that.
I can tell you
strong.
Because we've been pussies for a long time. You know, we lower our yes around white people because they already, you know, the rumor was that we were aggressive and we're like animals. So what we have done in the last 20, 30 years is when we get around them, we try to, you know, act really docile. I even see on this YouTube shit, you know, these black men are very docile around white people. A white man or white woman come up, some of these motherfuckers just get crazy docile, and they will attack themselves and allow the white people to attack. You don't see that? That is happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think recently on my panel we had a white woman come up here and try to attack some black women, and a black man did come and try to show some protection towards the white woman. So yeah,
right.
I think that did happen.
I think it's the difference between legal and reasonable, right? So for example, I think if you probably walked up to Sneeko and started saying stuff to him, I don't think he would do nothing, right? You start telling him crazy stuff and all that type of stuff, he'd probably walk away from you or something like that, right? But personally, to me, if somebody was antagonizing me to that degree, I probably would end up eventually putting my hands on them, and I would understand why I'm in jail, right? I would completely understand why I'm in jail, and I'm like, okay, I get it. I did something illegal. However, I feel like what I did was reasonable, so I wouldn't care. But I think like we have to draw that distinction between legal and reasonable. Yeah, he like me putting my hands on you because you trying to antagonize me to a certain degree. After a while, is reasonable to me, even if it's illegal.
Right, but these men say that being a man, right? I hear them all the time say, "I'm a man," and men supposed to respect one another. But then they let another race of man disrespect them. Even so much the way the white man could come around and use the N-word. You know, all in your face.
Great point. Let me welcome into the show, Too Strong for Life. What is your thoughts on people think that it is okay for Black folks to accept disrespect? What's your thoughts on that, Too Strong?
My thoughts on the matter is that, well, let me first say hi to everybody. What's going on, family?
Good day.
My thoughts on the matter is that people like that want to be racist towards Black people. They feel like if they can get this one step further, they can achieve their master goal of like, okay, now we can just straight up bring back slavery, bring back all this extra nonsense so we can get what we want. That's what I think.
And I think that's why we also got to be real careful of the ones like John Galt and other Black people that portray themselves as Black folks, and in reality, they want to disrespect Black folks. That's why we have such a issue with this whole idea of FBA versus Tether, Nigerians and Africa diaspora, and all these things, because it's very difficult to tell the difference between just Black folks that is just for Black folks regardless, and then the Black folks that is assimilating as a Black folk, but they in reality they're against Black folks altogether, like a John Galt. It's very hard to have that distinction between the two, and that's why we have such an issue with this whole FBA situation, in my opinion. And the people that think that it's okay for us to be disrespected is just wild to me. Anybody that's attempting to have this argument for Chud the Builder as if we do something to ourselves, therefore it's okay for somebody else to do something to us is wild to me. They'll try to use this so-called Black on Black crime statistic. They'll use Chicago statistics. They'll try to use anything that is in the far negative as a way to say, well, y'all do it to yourselves. That don't mean that you get a chance to do it. It doesn't. It's just a wild thing. And in reality, we all know every race is going to do crimes to their own race. That's just because of proximity. You don't have nothing to do with anything else. Do we have a violence problem in our community? Absolutely. We do. But that does not give Chud the Builder any excuses to try to antagonize somebody at the same time. I don't even understand how people still even support men like Myron and all these other guys that is just constantly disrespectful towards us as a people. I don't get it at all. To this day, I still don't understand it. I didn't understand it before, and I don't understand it now.
It's the antagonists, that came about telling Black people that we need to stop being violent. It's just words. And I don't know. I don't understand. Respect is a lot, especially to men. Am I wrong about that?
I used to believe so, but it seems like in today's time, men do not want to hold the standard of respect. That's what it seems like to me. It seems like they want to be the most disrespectful they can be, and that goes for all race of men. It's just like men in general. When we in conversation, they want to be the tough person in the conversation, especially on internet panels. They want to be the toughest person. This is one of the main reasons why most of these dudes be doing lifting weights and all that shit. Most of them ain't doing it for health reasons. Most of them are not doing it for health reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like it is a minority of men that actually go and hit that gym because they want to be as healthy and strong as they can be. But majority of them, they got some issues. It is what it is. And if you ever was in a gym long enough, you know that a lot of those people, they have issues. That's why they're in the mirror so much. Why are you in the mirror more than the goddamn women? Something wrong with you, bro. Get your ass out the mirror. Just put the work in. So, it's a scary thing. And I don't know what we're going to do to get men to start just upholding a standard and say, hey, this man is moving in the right direction. Let's move with that direction until we see otherwise. I don't understand what that's all about. They'd rather follow the man that is doing all the wrong and negative things, like a Chuck Bill. He built his whole career on doing negative things, and they was right behind him, cheering him on, like, yeah, keep calling him the N-word, keep saying that he's chipping out. He keep going to bigger and bigger platforms so he can get more of an audience until we got to this point now where he's losing his baby mother and his son, and now possibly his goddamn freedom. Shout out to that shit. It is what it is. I don't feel sorry for him at all, neither. His dumb ass. He plays stupid games.
Win stupid prizes. Yeah, but his bail is at like $1.5 million or something like that. $1.2 million.
Yeah, 1.2, something like that. Hell yeah. His bill is up there and is deserving of that. Mon, you don't really deal with the politics. What's your thoughts on all the Black MAGA supporters that is going to be on Chud's side? What is your thoughts on those people, and what should we do to those people as a community? And so, we also got people like Big J. He would say, I followed Tommy Sotomayor, stop the cap. How did I follow him? I don't even understand that comment. How did I follow him? Like, I don't know what's wrong with some of these men. Is something really wrong with them? At this point, I don't know if they need a goddamn therapist, they need some medicine, they need some vagina. I don't know what kind of healing they need. But they need some, because, Diva said that supreme vaginal vessel heals all. So I don't know what kind of healing they need, Bob Cherry, but clearly they need some kind of healing. It's absolutely ridiculous that they can't even stay on topic in the conversation. What is that? What is that with so many men that cannot just maintain a conversation and stick to the topic? They got to go somewhere completely left here out of the topic. Can anybody on the panel answer why men stray away from the actual topic to talk about something else?
I can't explain.
A lack of.
Go ahead.
Get too strong.
It's a lack of comprehension, understanding, education, and intelligence.
Goddamn.
Tell the truth.
That truth hurts too, goddamn. I ain't gonna lie, that truth be hurting. Sheesh. And for us to move forward in the community, these things need to be called out so this way we can actually move forward and get the men start moving forward in a proper direction. Move with some goddamn integrity and some damn standards and say, hey, I need to be the first line of defense of moving forward with integrity and standards for men. First of all, you need to be the standard, homeboy, whatever that standard is. And then stand on that standard if you believe that is the right thing to do. If you want to be a super thug, and your standard is super thug, stand on that. And explain yourself. If you think it's being a goddamn dandy, stand on that. If you feel like being a Rasta, stand on that. You feel like being a goddamn, I don't want to be a player no more, like everybody hates my, stand on that. Whatever the shit is, be a man and say, hey, this is what I am. I believe I'm the standard of this for the people that want to be this type of standard. You rock with me for whatever the case is. And then so people like Roland Anger, he could never show where I don't hold integrity. But he want to cry and complain the whole time. If I say, hey, where haven't I showed integrity? It's crazy. Even when the crazy part about it, Mom, is that I hold integrity even when it's detrimental to me. Like, people get mad at me, Bond, for literally holding my integrity.
Well, I agree.
Like, for example, somebody recently, you know what I'm saying, Bond? Somebody recently got mad at me because they feel like I didn't protect them. What are you talking about? You come up here and fight all the time. Now you asking for protection? That's crazy.
Right.
I always let you come up here and swing and duke it out, whoever you want to swing and duke it out with, all the time. That's the whole reason. That's the whole thing of the show, that everybody could give equal verbal lefts and rights. Doesn't matter if you're a man. It doesn't matter if you're a woman. You get a chance to voice out your goddamn opinion the way how you see fit for yourself. Bomb, am I wrong?
No, you're right. Because, you know, I would be upset if you didn't let me fight my own battles, you know what I mean? And I'll be like, get out my way, Sharon. Let me take care of this. Nah. But yeah, some people don't know how to just disagree, you know? Nothing wrong with disagreeing.
Why do people want to try to argue the idea of you instead of what you actually say? And that's another thing I do not have an understanding of. Argue what actually happened, not what your idea of what happened was. Like, for some reason, somebody like Big J, he have an idea of what he believed happened instead of what actually happened.
But those kind of people are crazy. Yeah, you know, they don't see reality. It's all in their head. They make shit up.
I think it's because we're humans and we have emotions and feelings. And a lot of times when we go through things, we remember how we felt, and how we feel can overpower what we see. I thought that I tend to see that more with women, but you know, you might learn that men do it too. But our feelings are definitely. It's like when you're having an argument with a significant other, and you like, yo, you said this verbatim yesterday, and they like, yo, I didn't say that shit. And you like, yo, I swear to God, you said it, and y'all don't have an instant replay, so you know they just like, I ain't say it, and you like, you did say it. So,
for sure, as of recent time, I think men do this thing more. That they have a warped idea of what reality is, right? Because John just displayed that he doesn't have a real idea of what reality is. Gave a definition, he agreed to the definition, and then immediately went against the definition that he agreed upon.
Right. And the men do that a lot.
The situation with John, he had a technicality that he stood on, and I think that's where we was trying to like corner him in, but he had like a technicality that he would not move off of when it came to that dignity and what he perceived removing someone's dignity to be.
You just think you know John, but the rest of us do know John. Okay. John will lie just for the sake of lying, because how can he speak on a man he didn't even know anything about and stand so firmly on it, right?
So you're right. I might not know John as much as y'all do, but I just know from dealing with my son has taught me how to speak more clearly and listen clearly. So for example, like, so my son is so smart that he talk too much, right? So he'll like, if you tell him to do something, like with a lot of adults, he'll start talking, talking too much to you, right? So I'm like, listen, I'm gonna give you a rule. If an adult tell you to do something, right? You can't ask them a question. You have to ask them to ask them a question, right? So you got to say, hey, can I ask a question? They can either say no, you can ask me later, or, they can say, yeah, what's your question? And he like, Dad, but that is a question. And I'm like, all right, let me rephrase that. And I have to talk more clearly the first time when I'm talking to my son because of the technicalities that he finds out, right? So I think that
Hey, Mark, you know how crazy it is that you saying that the men act very similar to your how old child?
He 8.
So these grown men act very similar to your 8-year-old son?
Yeah, but my I think I was impressed when my son did that. When my son did that, I was extremely impressed. I'm like, God damn, you got me, right? So let me talk to you and make sure that I double check what I say before I say it, so that you can't get me.
Yeah, that's kids for you, Kids always, because they listening to us, our words. That's all they know. See, that's how all children are. All children only know words they don't really have the experience to know the feelings of anything. So they listen to every word you say.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so that's that. So he did exactly what he should have done. When you notice when they're getting a little older, that's when they start adding their feelings into things. They start comprehending what you mean. If you tell them, hey, go in there and bust somebody upside the head, they will literally think that you're telling them to go in there and bust somebody upside the head. Right. But you know, when you get a little older and they start what's the word, comprehending a little differently, then they may realize you're not telling them to literally go hit nobody in the head. You might be just telling them to go up there and, you know, and beat them at a game or something like that.
Yeah. I think kids are so funny because they don't have like a lot of experiences in life. So they don't really have a lot of stuff to talk about. So the stuff that they do have to talk about be like real personal. Like, oh yeah, my dad make this much money, or like, you know, my mom and my dad got in an argument last night. Just be talking to a stranger, like, because they don't have nothing else to talk about besides like the limited things that they have experienced in life so far. It just be, that's why they always telling their parents' business.
Welcome to the show, Kulu. Good day, Kulu. How you doing? What is your thoughts?
Hey, what's up, Sharon? Mon, Too Strong, PhD, I think in the back. Man, I'm glad Chud. I'm glad Chud's locked up. To be honest with you, I think it's about time because he's gonna get into the wrong neighborhood, the wrong person, and it's gonna cost him his life. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that the police were able to step in and stop him from hurting himself. You know, because what he's doing, you know, people might say it's free speech and whatnot, but just because you have the freedom to say anything don't mean that people don't have the right to respond or feel how they feel, right? And there's some dudes that have been killed for us, you know, have been killed for pennies, you know, or disrespect or the wrong look. So he gonna rest around and find out. But the whole argument with John Gott, you know, I've heard him on Bomb's platform talk like, man, like that dude hates black people, you know, like with the passion. He come up here and say he don't and all that, but you can tell by the way he talks and like the way he thinks, it makes no sense. Like when you ask them, like, is it okay if black people went into white neighborhoods harassing white people? And he said, yeah, that's fine. Bro, it's not fine, because he had a problem with renting to black folks and just how they live and how they speak and their music's too loud and shit like that. That's why he rents to Africans, you know what I mean, and shit like that. So he made a line. And if black people were really doing that, the white community, white media, all these MAGA conservatives will be tripping out, going crazy about black people harassing white folks. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So yeah. So and then the whole Sneeko, and you know, I never thought I'd agree with DJ Academics or Abba on this situation, but hearing those conversations happen, man, Sneeko don't get it, man, or Myron don't get it, because it's not about the words meaning. Yes, it means something, but they're arguing that black people shouldn't feel no type of way when a word is said, not realizing that words have meaning, and that word in particular has an even deeper meaning than just what it means. You know what I mean? And that word was used to oppress, was used to attack, to target, all types of stuff. And it's just like they lack the historical understanding. And then also, Abba brought up a good point, like about bringing, or like who was it? Academics brought up a good point about the whole Palestine situation, right? They want us to feel sorry for Palestine and go at Israel and condemn them for what they're doing. But whenever it's, you know, time for us to defend ourselves, or whenever it's time for us to like talk about our trauma, if they want us to get over it, fuck no, man. I got you, man. Fuck no, because at the end of the day, what we went through for 250 years is way worse than what Palestine's going through right now. Way worse than what the small hats went through in 1965. Way worse than what any of these like Japanese. Way worse, 10 times worse. You know what I mean? So, and the fact that they don't understand how this stuff actually affects generations. Like imagine, you know, 10 generations of people not getting paid for their work. You know what I mean? Like imagine all the food that like they don't really comprehend what like what it was really like back then. But it is what it is, and it just shows their ignorance, man. Like, I'm slowly getting tired of these dudes who have these platforms, think they're the most intellectual dudes that know everything, when in reality they're dumb as hell, bro. Like, they're really dumb as shit. And I'm glad Chuck's locked up. And like I said, if anybody wants to be like him, you're gonna end up like him. And the reason why, Sharon, and I'll end it real quick, is the reason why that he's doing this is because racism in today's world in Trump's administration pays well. We seen it with that white girl who called that little black boy the N-word, and she got what, $1 million on GoFundMe. He has almost 200K in GoFundMe. So racism is profitable in today's administration. You know what I mean? And I don't know why people would want to be that, but it is what it is.
So what is your thoughts on the people that say, hey, black folks support the party that created the Triple K?
So they're part of it is true to an extent, but they leave out a lot, right? And I always bring this up when I hear that those people who created the party, the Democrats, those were the conservative Democrats, the extremely religious conservative Democrats of the South that created that shit. And they don't know about the party switching, you know, back when it switched, and how it was the progressive Republicans wanting to change society, change the way that people live, do for the better, that wanted to change. And if you look today, who are the progressives today? They're Democrats. Who are the conservatives? It's Republicans. You know what I mean?
But when you said a Triple K, I see what you're saying. But yeah, it was. Yeah, so those were today's Republicans. Today's Republicans are created the Triple K, not the Democrats. Right. Yeah,
not the Democrats. And you know, they try to use that example. So, like, what is it that these people believe that the Republicans is trying to give black folks today? I would love for any one of the Republican Party people to say, hey, the Republicans is attempting to do X, Y, and Z for black folks. So I can have an understanding why should we switch parties, right? Like, just give me some solid values of what they give it. Maybe Mont got the answer. Go ahead.
I think it's all bullshit. Like, anybody who claims Republican or Democrat, I think they have a blind spot, and I think that I don't think it's reasonable to claim either side, like, because then you put yourself in a box, and I think it's ridiculous. Because now it's like, all right, if you see somebody say something that you like, and you claim they side, now you're gonna feel like it's some sort of allegiance even when motherfuckers don't make sense, or when they doing something stupid, right? So I don't like either. I don't like either or. So, you know, I just think it's ridiculous.
So what?
So, Mom, let me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, cool. You got it.
Yeah, Mom. So real quick, because I'm a proud Democrat, but I also understand that my party's not perfect, and the people who run the party now, right, the elitists, and they want to keep it a certain way to help benefit them, right? So I'm part of the new wave about clearing out all of those people and getting new people up in here, like young people, to like change society and do things for the better, right? But the reason why I'm a Democrat is because when I look at the Republican side, I see that they claim they're not racist. They claim they want to do something for black people, but in reality, the Democrats have done a lot more for black people. Not enough, but a lot more for black people than the Republican Party. And then when we talk about education, which is vital to the black community, Democratic states lead in education. Back 30 years ago, like whenever we had a Democratic governor, Texas was top tier, like top 10 in education. Now we're bottom half. Oklahoma, bottom of the pack. You know what I mean? So like when we're talking about what's better for black folks, it's about education, which the education will lead to better career opportunities, businesses, like making more money, marriages, all that stuff that we're talking about. You know what I mean? So that's why I support them. But I don't support everything that they do, though.
I dig that. I dig that. I don't know. I'm in the middle because I be hearing shit on both sides that sound crazy. So I just be in the middle.
Like look at it like this, right? Is let's say OKC Thunder win, and it's OKC Thunder versus the Knicks. They may not be your favorite team, but you got to pick a side. You know what I mean? And see who wins. You know. So that's how I look at it. You know what I mean? I want to join and rock with the party that does more than the other side, while also changing the party to do more, right? It's by getting these old heads out of there, getting Hillary and all these other people that want to stay and keep things the same. Is we got to get them out and get the newer people in there that do want to change shit, that are progressive, not too progressive to where, we start doing, different sexes and stuff like that, and hurting women and hurting children, but enough to where we can see equal opportunities for everybody. Everybody can benefit. Everybody can start making more money. Housing for everybody, cheaper food, cheaper costs, all that stuff.
Yeah, but you sound like them. You sound like them right now. When you said not like Hillary. Yeah, because Hillary is not in politics anymore. Been gone out of politics for quite some while.
But I'm talking about like Chuck Schumer, like Hakeem Jeffries.
And she's always been the type of Democrat. Because she's not too liberal. She's a conservative Democrat, and always been. So that's why I'm shocked that you said that. Because
when I say Hillary, I'm talking about like that upper tier, right? Chuck Schumer, who's been there for 30 years, Pelosi, like Hakeem Jeffries, like everybody that's not doing enough to change or to fight back, we got to get them out of there. So I use her as an example, but yeah, I should be more specific.
Oh, okay. Even when you say her not doing much to fight back, I'm not sure what you mean. They don't have the numbers to do anything, but they are fighting back. All of them. So
I would disagree a little bit, but I get what you're saying. It's just we need like the youth in there. Like we need it's younger people that are willing to actually fight back and actually use the political power. Like for example, right? The Democrats should have been expanded the Supreme Court. Like they should have been expanded the Supreme Court and then installed right in more progressive judges so that we wouldn't be in this predicament that we're in, right? Like it's just like the lack of use of power versus them wanting to take the high road all the time. Like that's my problem with those those upper class people. But it seems like more with the youth, they're willing to cross those boundaries and actually wield the power of the government versus just the status quo.
So we'll be like a Trump then, in other words, right? Because that power, because see, heavy is the crown, the heavy is the head, the person who wear the crown, right? So if you are saying younger people need to be in there and they're gonna do things better, you can't prove that, right? Y'all just say it. Y'all say it, but we haven't shown that. Now, some of them older people should have been out of their guess. But if you're saying the Democrats should have made more numbers on the Supreme Court and things like that, then who would stop? Because if the Democrats do it, the Republicans gonna do it, and then we're gonna do it again, and they're gonna do it, and who will stop it?
Well, it's been done before. So like it used to be 13, or it used to be 10. Then they moved it 1860 some to 9, and they haven't moved it since. But you need House and the Senate passing and the president to expand the Supreme Court, right? So they can do it, but if they don't have the numbers or the support, then they can't do it. So I do see your point. And I just think the youth just has like a more progressive, you know what I mean? And is willing to fight back. Like for example, I know people don't like Mandani, but I got to give him his credit on this thing. He was able to take Eric Adams' $12 billion deficit in New York and balance it out to $0. You know what I mean? Whether it's taxing the homeowners and whether it's doing what he's doing, that is impressive. You know what I mean? To just balance the budget, right? So, and he's a young guy. Not saying that I agree with everything he's done, obviously not, but like it's stuff like that.
You mean the stuff that they telling you, but there's a lot that they not telling you, and so I guess we'll find out later. Just like we didn't know that.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, I hear y'all young people thinking that y'all
don't know if Madani's doing a good job in New York, Del Culo. He might have did that with the budget, possibly. I don't think he actually balanced it properly. But man, I tell you, it is getting ridiculous out here on the New York side of things, because what he's doing with the rent freeze is just crazy. He's actually making it more expensive in New York by doing the rent freeze, because it's only rent freeze on the apartments that are occupied. It's so many other apartments that's not occupied. So that means all of those rent is going to go way up. The landlords, they cannot afford to maintain, because like, so the margin for the landlords is getting smaller and smaller, so therefore they have no other way to, they have no other option but to raise rent. The crime situation, now he's keep messing up with the crime situation. He's hurting businesses out here in New York by he literally let people sell on the street corner. Like, if you have a legitimate business, you can't have a street sign outside saying, "Hey, look, I got bagel, eggs, and cheese out here." But yet he doesn't stop somebody from robbing Home Depot, going outside of Home Depot and open up a bag and say, "I got these tools for half price." That's crazy. Like, this is the kind of things is happening. So Madani is dropping the ball on a lot of things right now. It's not looking good. He is not doing the correct things, and it doesn't seem like he actually have a right plan to get things in its proper perspective in New York City. It's kind of crazy out there.
Yeah. I'm not defending Mandani on everything, obviously, and I don't know everything that he has done that's bad, but I know that he had the 100,000 potholes like initiative and whatnot. So like that helps the everyday people driving, helps their vehicle from not being damaged like long term. And I did read that he balanced the budget, but I'm not sure. I mean, there's a lot of people driving.
I mean, most people not though. If you live in New York, you're not driving. Most. So him fixing the roads, that's good, but he needs to be fixing them trains and things, making it safe.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue that.
He needed to get it to be New York City to be affordable, like somehow, some way. Like, affordable doesn't actually mean affordable. That's the issue that we really having. And he's creating more rent increases. He's making it more difficult for business, even with the fact that he's finding businesses because of gate. So if your goddamn your drop gate, if it ain't 80% transparent, which most businesses do not have a transparent gate, you get fined for that. That's crazy. He's making it real difficult.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely disagree with that. But like, for example, right? And I was having this conversation earlier, right? So we're talking about MAGA Republicans and like that. Farmers can't even use their own seeds from the last crop. Like, they got to buy new seeds every year, and there's laws against that, right? Like, they can get fined or arrested for that, right? And like we did our research about it. If farmers just are able to use the seeds of their last crop, it'll save them, like, damn near each farm over, what was it, $500,000 to $600,000 in costs, which will long term bring the cost down of food, right? So just like small stuff like that a specific government doesn't do, right? But anyways, I don't want to get about like.
There's a reason you don't use the same seeds. You don't use the same seeds every year. There's a reason for that.
Well, the reason is that the seeds that they're using, the Monsanto seeds and things like that, like by law, they're not allowed to use the same seeds. Because them replanting it is using Monsanto's intellectual property, and they can be sued or have their farm confiscated or be arrested for it. But farmers have been doing it for thousands of years, like using the same seeds from the trees that they plant. They just take them out the fruit and they plant them. Like, that's how farmers been doing it since farming began, But now it's changed. Yeah.
Let me also address somebody in the chat. Hey, look, you can hit us with a super chat if you got some questions that you want us to answer, or you can hit the panel. You can have a discussion. So just so you know, so you get the super chat. We'll answer any question you got that's in the super chat.
So when it comes to farming and reusing seeds, especially when the government is in control and trying to make sure our food is at least some type of quality, I guess, then that's why you're not supposed to reuse seeds, because you don't know what the offspring of a seed will bring. So you have to understand farming to understand that when the bees and the butterflies go and do their thing that produces our vegetables and things, that seed will do its thing, right? but the offspring of that seed, that means the seeds of that seed become something else. Just like your children. When me and hubby got together, right? When I had my own DNA, hubby had his own DNA. When we got together and had a baby, that baby has both our DNAs. It creates something different. And that is how farming works.
So, like, for example, right, and just to go against you a little bit, Bomb, in Costa Rica, the southern hemisphere where most of the fruit comes from, they're not using Monsanto's, like they're using seeds, that came from the plant before it. And that, like, those fruits are way better than the ones that we get made in America. Like, they taste way better. They look a little bit different, because of the chemicals and stuff that they spray on them. But those foods are way healthier, way better. Just my opinion.
Yeah, but because that's not true. The only, like, when we getting fruits from over other places, and by the time it gets here, they're not even sweet or anything, because they took them, they harvest them early for the transportation, the ride, and all of that good old things. So you get a tomato from overseas or somewhere, and it has no flavor. Okay. And the ones here, though, if you go to a farmer's market and get things that are grown in your area, then you will find that those foods are very good, sweet, tasty, and everything. So, and that Monsanto thing, like, people be making up shit when you say Monsanto seeds, creating seedless items and stuff like that. All that stuff is like lies. A seedless item just means that the seeds are edible. They're edible, they're soft, they're edible, but they still have seeds in it, like a tomato, which is filled with seeds, but yet we eat the seeds.
Wait, Bomb, so you think Monsanto, because I didn't bring up the seedless argument. So you think it's good to genetically modify seeds?
Yes.
Oh, good question.
We definitely disagree with that.
I know, because you don't know what it means. That's why we disagree.
I know what it means. Trust me.
Okay,
I got the internet for him.
Okay, well, tell me.
It's when you genetically alter a seed against different insects or different things.
Yes.
So that it can grow in different environments.
Oh, yes. So instead of just having oranges grow in Florida or in California, now in New Jersey or New York, we could grow oranges and grapes, things that you couldn't because of the environment. So they genetically changed them so people can still eat, right? Because there are a lot of things that will only be able to grow in southern, in heat, where it has to be hot most of the year. In our climate, we wouldn't be able to grow a lot of things up north.
Yeah, but that's where, I agree with you completely. But that's where we diverge. Is I think that those fruits should have stayed grown in those areas. Like, we should be using our land the way it's supposed to, and not like genetically altering things to fit certain things. That's just my personal belief. Like, it's not,
But even in back in the day before Monsanto, as you put it, they was like, we have things that are created by man, right? Bananas and things like that. So you don't believe in? Yes, they got things. So broccoli. Are you against those things?
Cauliflower, I am. I'm against broccoli and cauliflower. Goddammit, shit.
We got a lot of different watermelons.
So, like, for example, right?
Them pickles, a pickle definitely has a soft seed. People call them seedless, but you can see the seeds in the pickles. Cucumbers, right?
Yeah, I'm not talking about the seedlessness. And so, like, for example, right? The original orange is not orange. It's green. It comes from the tropics, right? But it was taken over to Europe hundreds of years ago and modified with chemicals and other things to turn it into the orange that we have today, right? But I'm saying that orange back then was way more juicier, tasted better, and way more nutritious than the altered version of the orange that we have today.
Yeah,
Like
but
just
that's
like how
not true. You just making that up.
no. You can look that up
You
and see.
literally are. Listen, back then they didn't even know how to go and extract, understand the healthiness. You just saying that because what?
No. These people did know that, and
What?
people who were living in the Amazon, people who were living off the land knew all the different minerals to the herbs, to the fruits, to the plants, and what they did, how they healed the body, all that stuff.
Yes, and they still do those things, and those things are in the soil, so that's how things grow. Just because they went and modified a seed so it could withstand bugs or weather and things like that doesn't mean it's bad, but it is modified. And the way they modified it the same way we have children. That's all they've done. They crossed the DNA with one item with another. So one item that can withstand the cold, they'll cross something that can't withstand the cold with something that can, and put that together and create something new. That
Wait, so
doesn't
just let
mean
me wait. So real quick, so like bomb. So you think a human that's made naturally through like sex is different or better than a child made in a tube and made in a lab?
I think that a child that's made in a lab is, what are you talking about? It's the same. You do know how they do that, right?
No, but I'm talking about like grown in a lab, right? So not, to where it's made and then inseminated back into a woman. I'm talking about like a child that's made in a lab and then grown in a lab versus a child made naturally. Which child you think is going to be, I guess, more human, more empathetic? Like, do you think that, like, there's a difference, or you think it's the same?
They're not gonna be any different. I don't know what you are you referring to, like that movie when they actually had a child that wasn't in the womb. You talking about movie stuff that doesn't exist?
Nah. I mean, it exists, but
What exists?
so like for example, right? A natural child, in my opinion, that's raised in the womb, to me is more human than a child that is grown in a lab, whether that be incubated in a lab or whatever.
Yeah, but you can't prove that. That you just saying that's to you, but you can't prove that. Have you ever met a child that was born or
Grown in the lab? No, I haven't, but just based off being
you may
grown,
have, you just may not know it, right? Because
maybe.
IVF have been around for a long time now.
Well, IVF is different because they take the inseminated egg and they put it back in the mother, right? Or they take the mother's eggs and inseminate it within her, right? So the baby's still growing naturally in the womb, whether it was done that way. As I'm arguing, like a child's not grown in a womb. It was grown in like an incubator.
Yeah, but that don't exist. What you're talking about?
I mean, it exists. It exists.
All right, so cool.
But it's
So
not,
you're saying that we have
yeah.
You saying we have a representation of a human being that was grown strictly without another human being? Like,
No.
I think that's
No,
what I think
no,
that's what
I'm going based off this.
Yeah, I heard him just say that. Didn't he just say that?
Yeah. No, I said I didn't know about it.
Explain to us, Cooler, what you mean by a lab-grown human being, so we can have an understanding.
So they have incubators. Y'all can look this up, where they can grow a child from an egg, from an egg and a sperm, whatever, into an actual human being inside an incubator. Like they have it. Like it's not common.
So
like it's not
they
IVF, obviously.
So you're saying they have it theoretically, but they haven't done it yet?
No, they've done it. It's just not out publicly to everybody to be able to access.
All right, so that's
they've done these things.
So
but I've never met a human being.
So you're saying it has a company that developed a human being with sperm and an egg, and no human being actually developed this child within a womb?
Yes.
Oh.
That's what you're saying, but that is not true. They can't figure that out yet. And when they do figure that out, though, that's when men will start having babies, right? The ones who want to have babies, they'll be able to do that because they need a womb for a baby to be born, and that's why they can't figure out how to have men to have babies yet. because you don't have wounds.
They're actually doing it in Japan because of the depopulation. They're actually having robots to do that. So they're actually working on it.
Depopulation? You must mean because I don't know if they're depopulation. You mean women, right?
He's talking about the birth rate, the declining birth rate.
Oh, the declining. So they got robots having babies.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Yo, look, I saw that movie. What is it called? Anna?
Are they working on it, or do they actually have the technology to do it now to actually grow a baby within a artificial womb? Because I think that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, there's doctors on podcasts that have talked about it, that have said it, that work for these companies. But online, if you look it up, it says that they can only grow a baby up until a certain amount of weeks to study early stages of pregnancy. So they can do it, but when it comes to like mainstream actually growing it up, no.
You just
but there's been doctors that have said
you just said that they can do it, but then you said they can't do it. They
can do it. Hold on, they can.
Listen. If they can only bring it to a certain amount of weeks, do you not understand? That is IVF. That is what they do.
Bob, you're not listening. And what I'm saying is that there are doctors who work for these labs that have said they've done it, but publicly on record, they only have that you can do it up to a certain amount of weeks because there's laws against that. But there's doctors on podcasts that have talked about it. I've listened to them. That's why I'm bringing it up now. But my whole point is that, there's a difference between something grown naturally versus something that's genetically altered or modified.
They still have to run a bunch of tests on it.
Yeah.
They still have to run a bunch of tests on it. That's why it hasn't came fully out yet. You know, they have to make sure.
Oh, so y'all know about it, but it ain't pulled out yet. Y'all just happen to know about it. It's in some movies and shit like that. But and he went on podcast and spoke about it, but the rest of the world is such secret. But they went on.
I mean, it's just like with the UFO or the UAP situation, right? You got ex-military guys that come out who are whistleblowers and say that, I've been working on this project. It's black budget, and then obviously the public will say no, the government will say no, but then they show paperwork, they show evidence, and it's true. You know what I mean? So man, their government is definitely doing the stuff behind closed doors that people don't know.
But the difference is I know what a UFO is. It's just something that they haven't identified. But based on what I've heard a lot of other people say, they say UFOs look like a certain, monstrous and things like that. So, like, I think when y'all listen to some of these people, you know what I mean? Y'all not really listening. And
I think what happened is, Bomb. I need to know this question, Bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Since we getting close to conspiracy theories, right? Because it's a lot of new things happening that is not all the way out yet. It's somewhat out, so they have some information about these babies that's grown strictly from the lab up to a certain point. I got a question. When the hell did Chuck Norris pass away? Can anybody answer that question? Because I'm ready to go.
Sometime in March.
Die. You say March? Too Strong says he remembered Chuck Norris dying in March. Boncher, do you remember when Chuck Norris passed away? It's Shatira said a couple of months ago.
Yeah, it was a couple of months ago. I think I was up there and I mentioned that he died.
Mm-hmm. Miss J said was last week.
Oh, damn.
Which one is it? SD said was months ago. Chuck Norris died months ago. We gonna go ahead and let's do it. Let's get.
You know what? They did just say he died like last week, huh?
What did they say, Bomb Cherry?
I don't even know.
Is it March 19th or May 19th?
March 19th.
What month we in?
We in May, right?
I believe it says.
It's not even the 19th yet. It's just the 18th. Did he die today? But tomorrow?
Yo, Bob Cherry, when did Chuck Norris? Yo, somebody please let me know when did Chuck Norris out? Because I could have sworn that we had a conversation that said rest in peace to Chuck Norris months ago.
Yeah, I thought so too.
That's what I thought. But somehow, some way, I don't know, we living in a simulation. Kulu, I don't know, we got just goddamn, we just came out the goddamn artificial womb. I don't know what happened.
Oh, man.
Too strong.
I remember.
What you say, Kulu? You remember Chuck Norris passed away a couple of months ago?
Yeah, I remember Vaughn bringing it up when we were having a conversation. She brought it up as like breaking news a month or two ago.
Yeah, I gotta find this date because if we have some proof of us saying that, RIP to Chuck Norris somewhere before May, because according to it happened like a week ago, I believe.
Damn.
And I was like, I seen it by myself. I was like, what the? I said, did Chuck Norris die 2 times? I said, God damn. I was like, how the hell did he die 2 times?
Yeah, man. So he is dead, right? Because he might still be a living man. It's getting hard out here for a pimp, okay?
It's getting tricky out. It's getting tricky out here. I don't know what the hell's going on. Seriously, sometimes I'd be like, nah, that can't be that. And then you look at it and it's like, oh, and you got the proof. Now they talking about Sinbad coming out, talking about Sinbad said he was in the movie Kazam.
I thought he was. Wait a minute. So, because I remember, wasn't he he was in them big pants, but they say them pants was on when he was on that show, but I never looked at that show. So, but I thought I saw that Kazam. Maybe you think we switching timelines and shit?
Some shit is going on. I don't know what's going on. All I know, I feel like Chuck Norris died twice this year. That's all I know. Chuck two times. He died twice. That's all I feel like. I was just, I don't know. I was like, when it was brought up, I was like, huh? I was like, Chuck Norris, I thought he died already. I was like, I could have sworn we spoke about it. But now I got to go and search the archives and see. Texas Ranger was everybody's grandpa show, goddamn. It wasn't a yo, too strong. Every grandpa watched that TV show, bro.
I knew him as a karate dude. He was always kicking somebody's butt in a movie or something.
All right, so now we got 2 different. He died May 9th, March 9th. May 19th, like he's a day ahead. Like I don't know. I mean, me personally, I'm in May 19th now, so I get it. It's possible.
Is it May 19th tomorrow?
That's what I'm saying, Maria. I remember we mentioned that he passed away. They were like, we don't care about no Chuck Norris. I was like, God damn. I remember it, but somehow it was only about a week ago. I don't know how this happened. It's crazy out here. We got these Black MAGA supporters like Myron and all of them. They talking about, hey, they want to defend Chud. We got Sneeko defending Chud. It's crazy. We got Abba from Abba and Preach. He out here doing the same thing Myron and Fresh and Fit is doing. That's crazy. He got 2 girls prego. I was like, damn, one. Yeah, he got another one pregnant, Bon.
Who?
Abba.
Abba? Oh, Lord.
That's the same thing I said. I said, oh, Lord, you got another one? I was like, 2? And he told her the same thing. He said, hey, I'm going to push your ass down the stairs. I was like, oh, hell no.
Oh, damn.
I was like, oh, hell no. He said, I'm going to push your ass right down the stairs. I was like, oh, hell no. Not Abba.
He wasn't smart enough to wear condoms. What is going on? If you
Well,
don't want
you know,
babies,
he over here hey, Bomb, he over here lying to the hoes and talking about I got low sperm count. He know damn well he know damn well, man.
Oh damn, Albert. I like Albert and Preach too. God damn. They out here lying to the women.
They out here lying to us.
Why they gotta? I thought the men say women like to be like the truth. Why they lying to them?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. We live in this parallel. Clearly, they switch albers. Too short. We used to have a whole album. They done switched the timeline, and now we got this goddamn this fresh and fit album. He out here impregnating.
Oh Lord, not the fresh and fit album. God, that's bad right there.
We got the fresh and fit album. That shit is crazy. Oh shit. He said, I'm gonna push your ass down the stairs. I was like, oh hell no.
Damn.
Wow.
She came out and told on him, ratted him out, huh?
Damn. Hell yeah. The second one came out.
Damn.
So.
Y'all gotta keep y'all
right, Mom, I'm gonna go. It don't seem like they messing with us today. They don't want to show no love and support. We still didn't make it to 100 likes. It's okay. It's okay. Nah, we ain't get 100 likes. We had over 250 in the building, but we ain't get 100 likes. It is what it is. Sometimes they're gonna have to learn the hard way. That they want to continue to laugh and joke and get them through their goddamn day. You gotta put some work into it. It ain't just me. Nope, it ain't just me. You gotta put in some work too. Shit. You got any final thoughts, Mom?
Bye, y'all. Y'all got to do better.
Nothing wrong with being. Let me